Hey, y'all. Hey, everybody. I am Joy Bailey. I am a loan officer here in Charlotte, North Carolina. And I have a great topic to talk about today. It's going to be short and sweet. And by short, I mean like maybe an hour because I am sleepy. I am tired. Do you hear me? I had quite a day today. So I started a conversation over on TikTok, and I really thought it was valuable. I like some of the comments that I got, and so I wanted to bring it over here to YouTube. And the overarching question that I have is it really that hard making money? Like, is making money really that hard? Okay, so as I said, I'm a mortgage loan officer. And so, as a mortgage loan officer, my one and only job is not to judge people by the content of their character, but what it is that their credit report and their bank account says. And in doing so, it's a lot of people that are not able to buy houses. And they're not able to buy for a variety of reasons. But I didn't find the article that I'm going to share with you. I didn't find it. I actually saw another content creator that shared his spin on it. He has an absolutely phenomenal platform where he routinely shares his thoughts and opinions about Gen Z versus everybody else. Now, I'm pretty sure we're about the same age. He used to play on Days of Our Lives. I used to watch Days of Our Lives back in the day. But he's my age, and he's constantly highlighting the differences between what it used to be back in the day versus what it actually is today. Now, the one thing that I am constantly crying and complaining about is bacon is $10.99. That bothers me. Everything about it bothers me. Like, I feel like we being gouged. Like, it's a mess. And so, anyway, again, because I help people get qualified for homes, it's time for us to have like a real, for real, sobering, heart to heart, come to Jesus. Yesterday's price is not today's price conversation. And in saying that, I want to present some information to you. I've had similar conversations before. I think I did a live stream about a year ago where there was someone that was living paycheck to paycheck making $350,000, right? And again, because I always see money, it's nothing emotional to me about money. But a lot of people, when they hear certain numbers and they hear certain things, it evokes rage sometimes. It can give angry. It can give hater sometimes. So my thing is, there is a huge gap in homeownership between African Americans and everyone else. Like, literally, you can separate all the different races out, and African Americans are at the bottom. And if I could do anything about that on my little corner of the internet, I would like to try to. Because to be completely honest, there are a lot of people that would like to become homeowners that may have missed their window of opportunity. And as much as we want to say it's because of all these things, oh, well, the price is high, the rate's high, it's this, it's that, it's the man, it's the white man, they not keeping up with the wages, not keeping up. That's not it at all. That's not it. I remember maybe in 2022, I was having some conversations with realtors. So if you are not quite aware of what I do, like, I want to like define. So as a mortgage loan officer, I am in charge of making sure that the finances are in order for the person to be able to get a loan in order to be able to obtain the home that they desire, whether it's new construction or something that's already existing, whether it is something for an investment property or for them to stay in as a primary residence, whatever it is, that is my role. It's just X's and O's. Realtors are more the salespeople of the actual end product, right? So they're like, oh, you like this house? Okay, well, let me connect you with my loan officer and she'll get you together and it's going to be great. Well, in that interaction between the realtor and the loan officer, while loan officers don't get deep down in the nitty gritty and share all of the applicants' details about, their credit and their private information, a lot of times when the answer is no, the realtor doesn't always make the connection. They don't make enough money to buy this $350,000 house. And the response that I would get a lot, and it took me a second to grasp it. It was, oh, well, can they get down payment assistance? Down payment assistance does not solve the affordability crisis that we have in America. And I want to say it's a crisis because it is. Down payment assistance does not make a mortgage payment more affordable. It only provides access to someone that can afford whatever that payment is. Because in the grand scheme of things, if you're talking about $300, $350, $400,000, putting, $2,000 on it, $3,000 on it, that's nothing. That's pennies in a piggy bank, if I'm going to be like completely honest, right? It doesn't move the needle on something that's 6.5% over the course of 30 years. And so down payment assistance is not the problem. And as someone that sits in these rooms and as someone that hears conversations behind closed doors and attends conferences and participates in a lot of African American minority real estate finance organizations, I can tell you they keep coming back to down payment assistance, down payment assistance, down payment assistance. And everybody in that room got more sense to know that that is not the problem nor the answer. I continue to encounter conversations, and I just recently made this connection because somebody recently told me this. I did not know that there was a perception of some first-time home buyers that, oh, all I got to do is get my credit score up and then I can qualify. Has nothing to do with that. It does, but that's not the most important thing. The most important thing in qualifying to be able to make a payment of something that's going to be $2,500, $3,000, $3,500 is money. You got to have an income to be able to make the payment on the house that you would like to buy. And so in this, I say to you, whoever is watching, but if you are, a first-time home buyer, if you are a millennial, millennials are the only ones that have this problem. It's not Gen Z. It's not Gen X. It's not baby boomers. It's specifically millennials and very, very specifically Black millennials that's having this problem. You got to get your income up to be able to purchase these homes. And it's very interesting in the conversations that I have. It's almost like people are like, I never thought about that before. So I want to share a couple of videos We're going to talk a little bit about the article, and I'll make a couple of suggestions, and then we're going to get out of here. Like I said, I am a little tired today. I had a pretty long day. So let me know what y'all's thoughts are. So thank you so much for popping in. I see you, Real Bravado Network. How are you today? I hope you've had a magnificent week. I'm so excited. I came on, 2 weeks ago? I'm doing a live today. I posted something, didn't I? Yeah. I'm trying to be a little more, consistent around these parts, doing what I can. But yeah, so thank you so much. So, okay. So as I said before, hi Angela, how you doing? So as I was saying, this article did not, I didn't even know this article existed. This is an article that came out back in 2023. But someone shared their thoughts on it, and he very eloquently and concisely describes the differences between the perceptions that Gen Z has versus everybody else. So let's see how much money Gen Z feels that they need to earn in order to be able to go along, to get along in America. All right, let me share this.
$171,000 a year to feel financially healthy. Later in this article, the boomers say they just need $78,000 to feel financially healthy. Now, before you come after the Gen Zers, I got to show you something. So let's look at a Gen Z couple. Gen Z requires a whopping $171,000 a year to feel financially healthy. Later in this article, the boomers say they just need $78,000 to feel financially healthy. Now, before you come after the Gen Zers, I got to show you something. So let's look at a Gen Z couple that's married with 2 kids and a boomer couple that's married with 2 kids who are out of the house. The Gen Zers want $171,000, the boomers $78,000. Let's look at the net pays. The take home for the Gen Zer would be around $10,583, and the boomers take home would be $5,271. But now let's say they each have a $450,000 house, and to make this interesting, they're living right next door to each other. Let's start with the boomers. $450,000 home, it's paid off. They're in their late 60s, they paid it off. So they have $700 of property taxes and homeowners insurance. They have 0 college debt. They've paid that off years ago, and they have 0 daycare costs because their children are grown. Now, if we look over at the Gen Zers with their $450,000 house, they got a loan on this, let's say a year or 2 ago, and their payment out the door is $3,698 for principal, interest, taxes, and all of that. And then the student loans, maybe they both have a student loan for around $750 in total, and their daycare for 2 children is $2,500 a month. So if you subtract that from their net income, they are left with $3,635 for everything else, which is great. And the boomers, if you subtract their $700 from this, they're left with $4,571. So you can see why a boomer at $78,000, because their house is paid, their college is done, and their kids are grown. Where Gen Z and millennials have this 3-layered cake of housing, college, and daycare that is making them want to earn more so that they can have that middle class, upper middle class life. Gen Z requires a whopping $171,000 a year to feel financially healthy. Later in this article, the boomers say they just need $78,000 to feel financially healthy. Now, before you come after the Gen Zers, I got to show you something. So let's look at a Gen Z couple that's married with 2 kids and a boomer couple that's married with 2 kids who are out of the house. The Gen Zers want $171,000, the boomers $78,000. Let's look at the net pays.
There you got it. Gen Z feels like they should be earning about $171,000 to survive and thrive. All right. Assuming that there's a family of 4. Now, it's not just one person that has to earn, this $170,000. It can be spread over 2 people, right? So $171,000 divided by 2 is $85,500. Well, guess what? I believe we're somewhere in the ballpark of the median income in America is something like 70, something like that. Wages have increased. Like in every single professional development that I have been a part of, they are constantly talking about wages are increasing. Wages are increasing. These people, they can afford these houses. Like, that is what's happening behind the scenes. Okay, cool. People can afford the houses. Well, obviously they can afford the houses because we're having multiple offer situations. Now, I don't know if you understand, but I'll explain. When Jerome Powell and the rest of the committee decided to hike rates as many times as they did throughout 2023, his vision, we'll jack up the rates and that'll make the housing prices go down and then everything will be all fine and good again. That did not happen. It didn't happen because we have a problem with supply and demand. There are not enough homes to go around for everybody that is interested in obtaining one. And it's not enough homes available for the number of people that can actually afford these houses. And so like I said, I see this every day. I've already honed in on what I feel like the real core issue is. Now, because I'm Black, spoiler alert, I don't know if y'all noticed, but because I'm Black, more often than not, I'm speaking to a Black applicant. And routinely, again, there is this shock. Okay, let's do your loan application. Okay, I see you. All right, cool. So you made $57,000 a year and you got 3 kids? Cool. Now, that's not necessarily important for the purpose of a person being able to be approved for the loan. But when we're having these conversations, I point out to people what we qualify you for versus what you can actually afford in your day-to-day living are two very different things. When I qualify you and I take your $57,000 a year and I divide it by 12, and now you got $47.50 per month as your gross income, your before tax income. And I take that number and I got to divide by 2 because we're not going to let you spend all that $4,700. You have $2,375 available to go toward your mortgage, your car payments, your student loan payments, your credit card payments, any personal loans that may show up on the credit report. All your debt has to come out of that. And so at the end of the conversation with somebody that has $57,000 a year as a gross salary, and they say to me, I was thinking about buying a car. And I'm like, with what money? Because we know that the average car payment is north of $700 a month, right? We have a problem. And all these like fiscally responsible people, they're like, well, they just living above their means. Go to hell. Okay. That frustrates me to no end. And I don't understand. Maybe y'all tell me in the chat, what does that even mean? What does that mean when you got bacon that's $10.99 a pound? Okay. You got bacon that's $10.99 a pound. You got cereal, Frosted Flakes. I bought some recently. Frosted Flakes is $10 a box over at the Harris Teeter. What is living below your means mean? Like what, or within your means, or whatever the phrasing is. Like what does that mean? How? Like $57,000 a year with 3 children. Well, everybody got to eat. What groceries? Like seriously, like groceries is a smooth $1,000, just like off the top, right? I'm assuming for multiple children, right? I remember when I got food stamps, Jalen was he born? He must have been born. I think he was born. I got food stamps twice. I got food stamps when he was born, and I got food stamps in like 2014. Either way it go, I remember, I think I got like $161 a week or $141 a week. It was something like that. And I remember thinking, I didn't know I was supposed to spend this much money on food. What? What did I say? Oh, so let's 161 times $644. And that was, like I said, that was in like 2008. I'm like, I didn't know I was supposed to spend this much money on food. What? Say word. Okay. Whatever. But what does that mean when rent in most places, and obviously I'm not talking about Arkansas or Alabama, Mississippi, Nebraska, Iowa, like obviously, right? I'm talking about more populated areas, and the average rent is $1,500, $1,600. I mean, if you got 3 kids, you definitely got at least a 2-bedroom. So how does it work? So these are conversations I'm having with people when they're like, oh, I want to buy a house. And they always want to buy a $275,000, $325,000 house. And it's not because they're striving for this thing. That's what's available. And I don't think people understand that when they say these things out loud. They're like, well, they living above their means. Show me $150,000 house then. Show me $800 a month rent then. Please show me bacon is $5.99 a pound. Like, I would love that. Y'all, I swear, I'm never coming off of this. Like, if Oscar Mayer ever sees this, like, why y'all doing me like this on the thick cut bacon? Like, what I do to you? It's just, it cooks perfectly. Like, I pop mine in the microwave. I bought this little microwave, like bacon microwave plate. It's only for bacon. And you put like a paper towel on top, so the grease and stuff don't splatter. 1 minute per piece of bacon. Perfection. Oh my God. It's not crispy, crunchy, like, like when it crumbles. It's not that. Mm-mm. And it's not soft and chewy where it's just right. I wouldn't know. I'm going off my memory because I can't buy it because it's $10.99 a pound at the Harris Teeter in Charlotte, North Carolina. It's freaking ridiculous. So what am I supposed to tell Miss $57,000 a year with 3 kids that wants to buy a $275,000 or $325,000 house? What do I do? Do I turn her around and I say, all right, well, here's your pre-approval for $120,000. Is that what I'm supposed to say? Because she's going to walk away from me. And I keep saying she because we had this conversation last week as well. Women buy houses more than men do. So she's going to turn around. She's going to walk away from the conversation and think, oh, I just need to get my credit score up. I didn't say nothing about your credit. Oh, okay. So like, do you have any programs? I'm a first-time home. I want to use my first-time home buyer. As I told y'all, they whisper it. My first-time home buyer. What? Speak up. What you say? Use your what? No. That don't change it either. So here I am trying to figure out how to gently tap dance around the obvious. That's not obvious to Miss $57,000. But then I'm thinking to myself, it has to be obvious to you because I just did the math. Ain't no way you out here just like tootsie rolling around problem free. Like, what's up? What's going on? Earlier today on TikTok, I was talking about how money is subjective. People value money so differently. And it's okay. Because money's just a tool. Money's not even a real thing. Like, if tomorrow we got a new president and the president decided that this was the new currency, I'd be a rich bitch. I got so many damn sticky notes. This is, baby, tell the posted people to call me, okay? If they decided that this is the new currency and this is what's valuable, then it would be. Money is made up. It's not even real. It's a bunch of numbers in a computer. But because money is so subjective, people be thinking they're doing good, but they don't have nothing to compare it to because everybody's busy living a lie. And so I want to encourage conversations about being honest about, I'm in debt up to my eyebrows and I make $250,000 a year. And it should be okay to say that out loud without somebody being judged. Like, you don't know what? You don't know how that person got in that situation. I guarantee they didn't do it at the mall. But I said that to say, we got to get more comfortable acknowledging what white people already know. What Gen Z is very aware of. And they only 25 years old, 24 years old. Whenever a Gen Z reaches out to me on TikTok or Instagram or YouTube or whatever it is, and they want to buy a house, if they don't qualify today, you best believe they're going to spin the block. They're going to be right back. They're going to be like, okay, how much money I need? All right. Okay, so if I earn what? How much money to save? Okay, cool. All right. 90 days later, 6 months later, they're like, all right, let's go. Put me in the game, coach. They are very much, tell me the rules so I can play. Not us. Not us. And by us, not millennials. No, we don't want to know the rules. We're not interested in what the rules are today. We just want to play. Well, you playing for the wrong team. You going the wrong way down the field. Come back. 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 You was running too far. Like, come back. Okay, I know you tired, right? I know that was a long run. I mean, I know you're going to start over because, I didn't tell you to do that. You did it on your own. Those are literal conversations that I have to have with people. So I'm going to share my response or my version of what his video was about how much money Gen Z feels that they need compared to what millennials perceive. And I want to talk about it. And I want to talk about why is it like that? And is making money really that hard? Okay. So who I got in here? Hey, y'all. Hey. Hey, y'all. Hey. How y'all doing? Yes, honey. Grind, baby. Listen, let me tell you something. Listen to me when I tell you. I'm trying to be everywhere. I'm trying to be everywhere. I can't wait to be able to get an editor. I cannot wait to get an editor. I'm going to be right here. Okay. I'm going to be pumping out some content. I got to close some loans. This is the year I have got to close some loans. Hey girl, hey, how you doing? Who overdosing this week? Cause honey, your content, I'm like, I didn't know that. Pills, potions, and poisons. Hey, what's up? What's up? What's up? You said exactly everything is expensive. I saw an article that said that the grocery stores are gouging. Duh. But nobody's doing anything about it. They're like, it's completely like normal. And it's not normal. Food prices have got to be up like 20, 30%. I'm going to run with 30%. And did you know, and maybe I don't know. So when they start talking about inflation, right? So interest rates had to go up so they could slow people's spending down and bring inflation down, right? So it's basically, the cost of a basket of goods, right? Year over year. Well, do y'all know the two things that they don't include in that basket of goods when they are measuring or calculating inflation? When they're saying we want inflation to come down to 2%, and that means 2% from last year to this year. That means if something costs $10 last year, it costs what? $10.20 this year? 10 times. 1 second. Yeah. Okay. They wanted to come down to 2%. Because generally speaking, your cost of living is supposed to fluctuate maybe 2 to 3%. The housing prices are supposed to go up 2, 3, 4% year over year over year. That's what's considered normal. It's normal enough for people to be able to plan, save. Okay, I'm gonna buy a house in a year. Yeah. If at the end of 2022, you was like, I'm gonna buy a house in a year, you got punched in the face because you wasn't buying a house in a year. So inflation is the cost of a basket of goods. And it measures the cost of a basket of goods year over year, right? Do you know what two things the two things that are not included? Milk and eggs? Nope, milk and eggs is included. Well, no, you're right. Yeah, milk and eggs is not included. It is and it's not. It is and it's not. The two things that they do not measure: gas that goes in your car and food. Imagine that. The things that people spend the most money on is not a part of that equation. Whenever they're saying, oh, inflation is down, and they're like, the economy's strong, and people are like, who the hell are they talking about? Who? What economy? Who they talking? America? So, okay. And they got people like scratching their head. They're like, well, maybe I'm mismanaging my money. And I know people are saying this because we talk about it on the phone. Like, y'all know, child, I be going on my little sad conversations. I'm talking to them. Like, am I mismanaging my money? Child, no, it ain't you. It's not you. And I have to make people feel better. Like, yes, I'm all about the X's and O's, but a large part of what I do is emotional as well. Just like when I was a teacher, right? My job was like, okay, let's talk about this subject-verb agreement. But at the same time, I'm a counselor, I'm a caretaker, I'm a nurse, all of these things under that one title. And so when I get on the phone with people and I have to break their hearts, or not even break their hearts, like I don't break their hearts. I send them off in a different direction, and I try to give people a different perspective of what the reality is versus what they've made up in their head. And y'all, they really be like, well, how? Well, then how are people making it? I don't know how you making it. That's what I want you to tell me. And they really be like, people, 6 figures, $150,000. They like, maybe I'm doing something wrong. No, it's not you. It's really not you. It's everybody. And I have to try to make people feel better, because if you feel bad and you beating up on yourself and you really think, okay, it's me, you can't get out of that mental space in order to be like, okay, maybe I could talk about this with my homegirl. Maybe I could talk about this with my homeboy. But then you don't want to tell nobody because like you feel like they're going to look at you crazy because you the one thinking that you the one that's in over your head because bacon $10.99 a pound. You can't get no $2 chuck no more from Trader Joe's. And if you don't know what that is, you get $2.99 bottle of wine for Trader Joe's. It was amazing. And all the other grocery stores, they was like, oh, we're going to figure out our own $2 chuck. A $2 chuck was like $3.99, but still, it was okay. I was a Harris Teeter. I'm looking at the bottom shelf. Okay. I'm a bottom shelf girl right now in my life. That's where life has me currently. I'm going to work my way up though. And I'm looking. Twist off cap. Oh my God. What we got? I couldn't find nothing less than $6.99. Jesus. So it's different. It's different now. So yes, everything is expensive. Groceries are easily $1,000 a month for a family. I believe, and I say this jokingly, but not really. It costs like literally $100 a day to live. To go from point A to B, and heaven forbid you got to get to a point C. You gas up the car, that's $50. You might need to wash it. That's what, $10, $15, $20. You got to eat. How long you going to be out? You got to pack a lunch before you go. But then, oh, nope, that ain't really going to help because the groceries, $1,000. You can't even go to the grocery store. Like you cannot get in and out the grocery store without spending $50. So you be like, oh, honey, I'll be back. I'm going to run to the store. I forgot an ingredient. $100. You've been gone 35 minutes. You spent $100. It's crazy. In South Carolina, you pay $18.45 for rent. Yes. It's a real thing. And I'm bored with people trying to act like it's not a real thing. We got to call a thing and make it okay. In undergrad, you paid $1,200. Oh, you was living fancy, girl. We're the same age. Okay. See, that's why you're the pharmacist and I'm not. All right. Charles, hey. Okay, the way things is I gotta go full time with my lawn care business to find a good full time in Montgomery. Are you in Alabama? And get my side business up and running. I'm a carpenter by trade. Yeah. I mentioned the other day that a lot of women I talk to, they have 2 full-time jobs. Apartments on the good side of town are going for rent $1,200 to $2,000 a month for just 1 bedroom. Right. So help me understand living below your means. Again, let's go back to Miss $57,000. Because a year ago, me and Nastasha and another person, she's not on here. She's not in the chat right now. We have like a podcast. Child, we was reckless over. Woo, child. We was talking about a little bit of everything over there. But I made the statement that $60,000 was not enough money for a family of 4. And baby, they try to run me out the internet. Them men, y'all know it was the men. Them men. Honey, I was lonely. I was gonna die alone. I was every terrible thing known to mankind. But I can add. I can add. I add well. And it's not enough. And people need to be okay, because if you don't know that it's not, then what can you do about it? So, okay, Miss $57,000. That's $4,750 before tax. Let's assume before tax, $1,000 for groceries. 3 kids. How much after school for 3 kids? What, about $75 per kid per week? Let's call it $50 per kid per week. So what's that? 150 times 4, 3, $600. We down to $3,150. This still before taxes. Oh, insurance. They got to go to the doctor because kids always got to go to the doctor. Help me understand. So, okay, let's roll with we're going to go with this cheap rent because we below our means. $1,200. We down to $1,950. So we ate. What else did we do? We got after school. We paid rent. Oh, shit, we got to pay lights and put gas in the car, right? Do we have a car payment? Probably. Let's go ahead and throw $525 on it for a car. Now we down to $1,425. Remember, I didn't take out taxes and health care. Because if I would have, we'd be at about $400 right now. How much is gas? $50 a week? Nope, let's say $35 a week. $35.72. So $140. Help me understand. What is living below your means mean? Why can't I send a message? I don't know. You should. You should be able to. You said, are you not sending a message right now? Am I not reading it? Okay. We want you to make it enough. Right. Make it enough. Okay. I cancel it. Okay. We're on the same page now. Okay. So you said you have a condo with your dad. Okay. I have a condo with my dad for 23 years. We want to sell for a single family home worth $325. We owe $125, $55. We're both retired. Thoughts? Generally speaking, 55 times 3.5. You can comfortably afford 3.5 times whatever your annual is. So that would be like $192,500. So I don't know how much equity you have. You say it's worth $325 and you owe $125. So that's $200,000 that you could put down. I mean, a little less after you pay, commissions and stuff. Seem legit to me. You wouldn't have any mortgage insurance on the house. So that's another thing that would help bring everything down for you. So, I mean, that seems reasonable to me. I need another income. We need to rethink this partnership thing. Nah, you said marriage isn't a partnership, remember? No, you the boss. Pay the cost, boss. Yeah, we have to handle a lot of emotional needs in our profession. Yeah, it is extraordinarily important. Especially when you talk about money. Money is a very intimate thing. These kids, that's right. It don't seem, it does. It legit, like, it took me a second to wrap my head around it. Like, I used to say it like jokingly, because like, I mean, let me be real clear. I can piss away some money. Let's be very clear. Okay. I can. I can go. But it has to be on something that I feel like makes sense, right? And I just don't think $10.99 bacon makes sense. So I'm going to continue to complain about it, no matter how much money I have or don't have. Your rent is more than my mortgage. It's true. It happens. Different life, different time. And that's my point. So that's perfect segue, actually. That was a different life. So let me show y'all. This is my response. So in case y'all missed what the original video was, I'm going to replay it and then I'm going to play my response. Okay. Where is my? Ooh, child, I can't see. So this is going to be, again, about how much Gen Z feels like they need to live. I don't even know if it was live comfortably, but live. Okay. And so my question back is making money really that hard?
$71,000 a year to feel financially healthy. Later in this article, the boomers say they just need $78,000 to feel financially healthy. Now, before you come after the Gen Zers, I got to show you something. So let's look at a Gen Z couple that's married with 2 kids and a boomer couple that's married with 2 kids who are out of the house. The Gen Zers want $171,000, the boomers $78,000. Let's look at the net pays. The take home for the Gen Zer would be around $10,583, and the boomers take home would be $5,271. But now let's say they each have a $450,000 house, and to make this interesting, they're living right next door to each other. Let's start with the boomers. $450,000 home. It's paid off. They're in their late 60s. They paid it off. So they have $700 of property taxes and homeowners insurance. They have 0 college debt. They've paid that off years ago. And they have 0 daycare costs because their children are grown. Now, if we look over at the Gen Zers with their $450,000 house, they got a loan on this, let's say a year or 2 ago, and their payment out the door is $3,698 for principal, interest, taxes, and all of that. And then the student loans, maybe they both have a student loan for around $750 in total, and their daycare for 2 children is $2,500 a month. So if you subtract that from their net income, they are left with $3,635 for everything else, which is great. And the boomers, if you subtract their $700 from this, they're left with $4,571. So you can see why a boomer at $78,000, because their house is paid, their college is done, and their kids are grown. Where Gen Z and millennials have this 3-layered cake of housing, college, and daycare that is making them want to earn more so that they can have that middle class, upper middle class life.
Now, I think it's important to note that he defines middle class as being able to buy the average priced house. That's middle, right? Just the median. Like, y'all know mean, mode, median, average, you know what that means, right? So just the middle. Like, you take it, you slice it in half, here we are. And we roughly around $400,000 universally. So when I saw that, I was like, ooh, I want to talk about this. So this was the response that I had about this on TikTok. Oh, wait, can y'all see that? Just kidding. Just kidding. Hold on. Try this again. You would think that I figured this out by now, right? Definitely have not. I'm on a struggle bus with everything. Hang on. Genuinely, devil's advocate. Is making money really that hard? Quick story just to frame what I want to say. I had a black manager who's a loan officer that came to me one day and we were chit-chatting, and he shared with me that his white manager came to him and was like, why don't we have more black loan officers? Like, why can't we recruit them? Like, what's going on? And the way that I heard the story was that he was really genuinely concerned and confused because they couldn't give the positions away. Now, if you don't understand, loan officers can be both inside an office, like a call center setting, or they can be outside an office where they're more operating like realtors do, having to go out and get their own business. Long story short, the call center setting is far safer, and it's a layup to 6 figures. Like, it ain't hard. You just gotta half-ass it, if I really want to be honest with you. Okay, so this is the third post that I made in, I guess, a series, right? And the whole point of me sharing these things today was to really push the envelope on someone to take an internal deep dive, an introspective look at the decisions that they have made in the past, and think about where you are now and where you want to be in the future, because only you know if you're comfortable with the life that you have. I don't know. Like, nobody else can determine that but you, right? And so in sharing this information, I hope that it lands on the right people to be able to say, well, damn, I haven't thought about it like that before. Because really, the whole thing to success is your mindset. That's it. And sometimes just a little bit of awareness about what's going on with other people. Because quite frankly, if we don't say things out loud, sometimes we just don't know that certain people are doing certain things or making a certain amount of money. So I want to share this article with you about the perspective that Gen Z has on how much money they feel like they need to make to be comfortable in the US. Y'all, Gen Z says that they need the highest salary of all the generations to feel financially healthy. Gen Z says that they feel like they need $171,633 on average to feel like they are financially healthy. Now, I'm a millennial, and there are going to be some millennials and some gens, I don't know, what's X people that are going to say, that's crazy. They're mismanaging their money. They don't know how to get by. I don't know, y'all. I think they own to something. I think that sometimes it's okay to learn from somebody that you feel like should be learning from you. So look at this. These kids, these young adults are saying that they feel like 171,633 as an annual salary is what's required to stay afloat. Can we unpack the word afloat? Afloat means I'm just humming along, just making it, just getting by. Okay. So millennials and Gen X said that they would need about $133,000 and $112,000 respectively to combat rising prices. Baby boomers, baby, bless their little hearts. They said 78,000 sound good to me. 78,000. What? And in terms of actual savings, this is very interesting. So the baby boomers felt like they needed $764,999 versus Gen Zers. They felt like $105,299 was sufficient money to have in savings to feel financially secure. So they feel like, no, I need my everyday income. That's going to make me feel financially secure. The older generation is like, no, I need the coin in the bank. I need it in the investments, the 401ks, the pensions, the stocks, all the things. Because I know one day I can't work, so I need my money to be there, not here. I need it there. But here is my question, because again, there's going to be somebody inevitably that's going to say $85,000 is plenty of money. Darling, you have now aligned yourself with somebody who was born in the 40s or the 50s. I don't know how old baby boomers are, but something like that. But you're trying to use that income by today's standards. But the kids of tomorrow are letting you know, baby, you're wrong. You're wrong. So what are we going to do? I want to know, just out of curiosity, because again, I like to have these money conversations, because perhaps somebody just really does not know that there's a whole generation of people that's out here that's trying to get to this number. Meanwhile, you like, oh, I'd be so happy if I could get $78,000. But y'all know that y'all are both paying for the same things, right? The houses cost the same for this person that they're going to cost for that person. The groceries going to cost the same for this person versus this person. The automobiles, same cost for everybody. It's equal opportunity. Okay. So here's my question though. Two questions. One, what is the last time or last job that you applied for that was over $100,000? And then two, if you've never applied for a job where the salary was over 100,000, I don't even want to say 100,000 because that ain't no money no more, really, for real. 120. So what is holding you back? What's happening? What's holding you back from feeling like you have the ability, the skill set, the tools, the mindset, whatever, to be able to get to a salary like this? What is it that's keeping you from here and keeping you striving for here? All right. So yes, pills, potions, and poisons, Nastasha pointed out that was a different life. And again, the people weren't ready for me when I said this a year ago. Girl, you're right. We do need to spin the block. They wasn't trying to hear me a year ago. They didn't want to hear. I was the bad guy. You remember when that girl, I don't know, I'll never forget that. You remember that one girl, she came and she was like, but yeah, I mean, if you make $5,000 a month and your mortgage is $2,000, that leaves $3,000. Ma'am, you clearly don't work. I need you win. Y'all know me. Everybody wins. My pride ain't that important. You win. You got it. Round of applause for you. Okay. So yeah, y'all, this is the thing. So the I don't know. I don't think y'all want to come up. I could drop the link and y'all can come up and we can have like a little, dialogue, little convo, whoop, whoop, de whoop. But this is a conversation that has to be had because to my point, the longer people are continuing to perpetuate this mistruth about the actual cost of living, the farther you're going to be behind and the harder it's going to be to catch up. These housing prices ain't coming down to you. I don't know what to say. The housing prices are not coming down to you. Ever. Never, ever. There are no 2.5% rates. You couldn't buy it then. Like this is the thing. Like people be like, oh my God, I took these loan applications, y'all. You couldn't buy it then when it was 2.5%. What changed so drastically? You got $1 an hour raise? And I say it like that because I want to put perspective on this. When people come to apply for a home loan, I absolutely understand the brevity of the situation. I understand that I am there to be a dream catcher, a hope dealer. I fully understand that. And I want to make those dreams come true. That's fun for me. I was miserable last year telling people, no, nope. Absolutely no. No. Now is not your time. Next year probably ain't gonna be your time either. Because the gap is so huge. It's so wide. Miss $57,000 needs a whole nother, for real? What I say? She a 325 house? A whole nother $50,000 almost to be able to comfortably buy. That's a huge difference. That's not I'm getting a raise next year, y'all. That's not I'm getting an $8,000 bonus. And I listen, I say this with the most humility because I was a teacher that made $34,000 a year. This is in 2014. I stopped teaching in 2014. I think I was making like $37,000, right? I had been on food stamps. I have had WIC. I have had a foreclosure. I have had a repossession. I am a real person and I have experienced things. I have experienced life. So when I say these things, I say it through the lens of been there, done that, can write a book about it. I understand the inability to take deep breaths because your stress level, what's the word? Come on, help me with it. Cortisol. Come on. I don't know the word. You can't. It sits right here. You can't sleep at night comfortably. You wake up in the middle of the night. Let me see if I can. All right, so if I can DoorDash. Okay, so I get off work at 6:00. Okay, so maybe I can get my sister to watch the kids until 10 o'clock. So if I drop them off, so at 6:00, okay, if I can, maybe if I could do like an extra $15, so 15 times 4, so now I can get home at 10 o'clock. But then I got to pay her. Like, I hope she could do it for free. And then if I could do an extra $60 and I could do that 5 days a week. You're fucking exhausted. You're tired. That is a horrible way to have to live long term. But people are doing it. And they're doing it because they want their kids to play football. They're doing it because they want their kid to be able to participate in orchestra, or they want their kid to go on that band trip. They're doing it. People that are buying houses, they like, I'm gonna suck it up. Let me go get 2 jobs, 2 full-time jobs. They doing it. This is real life that I'm telling y'all. It ain't all that Dave Ramsey BS guru. Like, I'm telling you what I see every day. People put on that 1003. When I click open, I click run the credit score, and then this laundry list of debt pops up. I do my math and I'm like, how are you going to make a $2,500 a month payment? And according to my calculations, you have $700 left in the month. Back to my point, down payment assistance does not solve for that, y'all. The only thing that's going to solve the problems that we're having is more money. We have to increase the income in our community. And so I want to understand, is making money really that hard? And when I say that, obviously, anytime you say something, it's easier said than done, right? But you found a way to get Beyonce tickets. Right? I thoroughly believe in my soul about human beings, Americans, irrespective of race, religion, anything. I thoroughly believe that once somebody has made their mind up about doing something, they're going to do it. They're going to do it. I don't know. I can't understand. Like, if we know, because I see it in my comments all the time, I ain't never going to be able to buy a house. You said that. I got to save $20,000. I ain't never going to be able to. Okay, I mean, if you say that you ain't never going to do it, then I guess you'll never do it. I know, girl. Boy, we were talking about everything over there. We was talking about everything. $95 a day. Okay, let's see. Your truck payment is $868 a month. Yeah, I mean, $700. That's what I'm saying. But I told y'all, this your year if you want to buy a car. Yeah, it's your year. It's your time to shine. Extended 3 days a week, not even 5. Oh, is that much? Child, bye. I'm so glad my son, he big enough to come and go as he pleases. $80,000 is not enough. Hey, Lindsay, no, I almost got cussed out when I said $100,000 was no money on Instagram. Dance hit me with a surprise bill. surprise bills. Yeah. Oh yeah, I know that's a lot of money. And you had her in a pageant too? Girl. Okay. My goodness. I get so tired of people saying live below your means. I mean, somebody needs to explain what it means, because the way the economy is set up, ain't nothing below your means. I know that's my point. Like, I don't know who's gonna see this, but again, like, I'm a very, very objective person. I can almost always see things from multiple perspectives and really actually appreciate whatever the other side's point of view is, because I don't know. Everybody doesn't have the same life experiences, right? Everybody doesn't bring the same life experience to the table, to a conversation. And everybody's experience has value. So that's why I say a majority of the time, unless we're talking about people committing crimes, there's really not a right and a wrong all the time. Now, it's a what's going to work and what's not going to work, but hey, do what's best for you. But no, I think that when people make those types of statements, again, it just does not allow the space to be given for people to say, you don't want this life. I tell my friends all the time, I have friends that's married and they be wanting to get divorced. I bet, don't you leave that man. Don't you? Y'all want this life? No, you do not. Don't think this is romanticized. This is not fun. I don't enjoy this at all. Please let me give this to somebody else. Come get these bills up off me. I'm just saying, like, you have to be okay with saying certain things, y'all. I'm telling you. Now, 5 years ago, I'd have laughed somebody off the internet if they came to me making $125,000 a year talking about they want down payment assistance. I'd be like, honey, you're not poor. I hate to break it to you. You're not poor. But now it's kind of like, okay, well, I see. Like, let's see what we can figure out. Ain't no such thing as cheap rent in DFW. I know it's not. I absolutely know it's not. It is absolutely not. Hit the light. Oh, thank you, baby. Oh, thank you, darling. Thank you, girl. I appreciate that so much. You're so sweet. Thank you. I'm working hard. And I'm out here breaking a sweat, honey. It might be because I'm 41. Is that too early? Is it too early to, you know, you the pharmacist. Tell me, is it? Because I really am a little. I ain't take my vitamin D today. Yeah, they got me on vitamin D. 40, 41, 40. I can't see that good out my right eye. My right knee hurt. My left hip hurt. It just all just, man, just wait till I get some money. Wait till I start closing some loans. Baby, these coming up. This getting sucked out. I gotta get my life back together again. Because I'm in denial over here about this 40 thing. But I am a little warm. Like I said, I don't know. I don't know what's going on with my body. Base pay in my field will never hit 100,000, but we do make well over that. Okay. So that's what I'm saying. My whole idea is, why do we not find career paths that will allow us to get there or halfway? Because it would be an absurd statement for me to say, just go get a job making $171,000. Like, obviously, we know that's not going to happen. But you can definitely get half of it. You can absolutely get half of it. You can 1,000,000,000% get half of that. What I say it was? 171 divided by. Everybody can make $85,000. Everybody. College degree, no college degree. Everybody can do it. I did a loan application. The boy made 150, young man made 100 and I think 114 It's his second job. He graduated college. I think he's 25. He not special. He isn't special at all. No, I'm not. I ain't arguing. Everybody right. Everybody win. Come on. Okay. How I do the link? Invite. Copy. So I dropped the link. It's in the chat. You can hit it if y'all want to come up and because I want to answer. We need to have some answers because if we're going to drive home ownership forward, if we're going to drive wealth in the Black community, no one is coming. No one is coming. No one's coming to save you. No one is coming to save me. TikTok saved me. God sent 20,000 people in 60 days to come save me. But that doesn't mean that there's just this windfall of money that's going to fall on my head and I haven't done anything. I got to show up. I be in them comments. Let's talk about it. You know what I'm saying? Like there's work that's involved. So when I say no one is coming, like there is no thing that's just going to happen and you just wake up and it's like, oh, well, homes are going to be half off for Black people. Like, and even if it was, you still can't buy it. And I say that with a straight face because there are people that 3.5%, you know what they told me? Well, I'm just going to wait for the rates to come down a little bit more. What? Okay. If you say so. We talk about people needing better paying jobs in order to purchase home. You have to. That's all I'm saying. If that's it. That's the whole purpose of this is to talk more about how do we get people there? Because people don't know. I believe, matter of fact, oh God, I wish I could find a comment. Hold up. I want to read it because I took a screenshot of it and I sent it to my friend because I was in such disbelief. I asked that I did that TikTok and I got a response from someone that said, where is it? What did she say? Who did I send it to? Oh, I sent it to Patrice. Hold on. I don't want to misquote this. She said, I hadn't considered applying until you just asked. My question, I said, well, like, what's holding you back? Why haven't you applied for something? Like, what's the problem? Why haven't you applied? She says, I hadn't considered it. I was like, oh. She said, yeah, I seem to have made myself believe that I would have to keep stair-stepping until I got to 100K. I never thought, just apply with what you have. I'm like, yeah, people do it all the time. People do it every day. You get a career counselor, get somebody to write you a resume. What are you talking about? Apply. She says, couple that with the thinking that, this is what she says, couple that thinking with make the most out of what I have mindset. Anyway, I applied for 4 roles with that salary after this video. Don't tell me God just got me out here just saying any old thing. The stuff that I say it with conviction. I believe it in the depths of my soul that we can be better. But I just can't wrap my head around why we like, oh no, $20 an hour is good. No, it's not. And again, the faster we get to that point as a society, the better off every single person will be. You so crazy. All right, so I'm about to bring up Real Bravado Network. You miss my boy. Yeah, girl. Yeah, honey. 41 now, honey. Yeah, 40 do hit different. I think my vitamin D deficiency is hurting my bones. So seriously. Okay. Charles, I would like to trade in when I start mowing lawns again, plus $900 a week mowing lawns. If you put, yeah, I mean, that's a good business. I have a neighbor. He's Hispanic and he cuts everybody's grass in the neighborhood. Well, he don't cut mine no more because he got too expensive. I was like, oh, I don't care about outside that much. Now what's that got to do with Johnson? I'm falling apart, honey. I'm falling apart. All right, here we go. Oh man, Real Bravado Network, y'all. Yay! I don't think I brought anybody up in like on camera. I don't think I've done that.
No, I don't know.
I don't think I have. Yeah, I can hear you.
So, first of all, how you doing?
Blessed and highly favored. Thank you so much for coming to kick it with me.
Favorite. You're funny. Listen, this is very fascinating. The last 10 minutes that you've been talking, you've made a strong case of why people need to figure out how to get together. And
that's fine. Like I'm okay with that. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm fine with that. Like I don't with you. Yeah, I'm not anti get married.
Well, see, we're out here I'm talking about black folk. I don't know about no white people, but I'm talking about us. We're out here in this market trying to buy, trying to do investments, trying to live life. And we're doing it as a bunch of individual people. And we don't understand how much of a slog it is to try to do it alone, and how it's so much easier if you, get together with somebody and, you pull your resources and do your thing. The average human being, regardless of the fact that we know $100,000 is really not a tremendous amount of money, the average job doesn't pay that for the average worker, And but if you are pulling out, we'll use your 60,000. You pulling out 60, he pulling out. Let's say we'll give the woman the more money. So we'll say the woman's making 60, 65, and the guy's pulling in 50 to 55. That's $110,000, $115,000. There you go. You know what I mean? There's your six figures. And I'm telling you, I make well into the six figures, but I work 88 hours a week. Mm-hmm. You understand? People don't understand, in this year, closing out 2023, I just did the math. I was sitting here in the back, whatever. Mm-hmm. I'll just say I made $210. This is the lowest amount of money that I've made in 4 years.
And tell people what you do. This is my point. If we don't say this stuff out loud, people aren't going to know. It sounds so make-believe and fairy tale. I was the person that 5 years, in 2020, I started working at a company, New American Funding, and my manager at the time, Stanley was like, yeah, come over here. A lot of loan officers, they 220, 250. I was like, ain't nobody paying that kind of money. Shut up. Yeah. So, that's fairy tale money. I was dead serious. Okay. And then I started seeing it. Yeah. A lot of people.
Yeah.
A lot of people make that.
Yeah. And I'm well aware, and believe it's kind of funny because me being a single man out here and all this narratives about if you make a certain amount of money, you'll have women knocking at your door. That ain't true. Well, and also
you ain't got no Ferrari.
And I don't wear my W-2s on my T-shirt either. So
I mean, how much you put something on them Super Bowl tickets? What you got? You gonna be in one of them booths? Them $2.5 million booths? What?
After Super Bowl, after NBA. Them jokers, they don't need my money. I need it more than they.
That's where the girlies like to go so they can show off their shoes. What you talking about? We gotta sit courtside. Don't play with us. Period.
That's on the court side. Then they need to go get. They need to go get a more irresponsible brother. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that.
Well, that's what we love. We love irresponsible men.
Yeah.
You gotta spice it up.
Well,
we want to see your car every now and again.
I got hot sauce. That's the spiciest we gonna get. But no, listen, I don't have either one of my resource streams of income. They're not flashy jobs. They're not. Let's start with something that we can actually do some numbers on, because my first job, I'm salary, so I'm kind of locked in right there. But I'm a respiratory therapist and I work nights. I'm going to give you some numbers, but this is not my salary, but I'm going to give you some numbers. You got your calculator with you?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. So we are going to agree that you reach time and a half after 40 hours, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So here we're going to go. So right now, and I'm just talking about in my area. So I don't know anything about the rest of the country, just somewhat in my area. So right
Where
now,
are you?
I'm in Missouri.
Okay.
So right now, let's just say you are a coming out of school respiratory therapist. Let's say, and believe, and by the way, it's a 2-year degree, which I wish I would have found years ago instead of spending all that money going to get an undergrad and 2 grad degrees. I wish I would have found this, because I'm not doing nothing related to any of them, fancy degrees that I got. But anyways, so let's say you coming out of school, right? So we work full time. We work 3 12-hour shifts a week. That's what, 36 hours?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So let's just say you work, it's easy to work 4. So 4 times 12 is what? 40 what?
8.
48. So just 4 days of work, you already got 8 hours of overtime. That's 16 hours in a pay period, right? Of overtime.
Mm-hmm.
Base pay coming out of school is $30 an hour.
Okay. So 30 times 40 is 1,200 plus an extra 8.
Plus 8 will be at $45 because it's time and a half.
360.
360
1,200.
12 is that what? 360 plus 1,200?
Mm-hmm.
So that's a combined what?
1,560
times 2.
3,120.
That's one pay period. Now listen, because so many people have fled the healthcare field. So every shift you pick up over your 3, every shift you pick up over your 3, it's an additional $50 an hour.
What? So over the 3 days.
Oh, yeah, you got your 3
Okay,
base
is it extra $50
right?
there? Okay, so how many is that? What are we doing?
So set aside your 15, was it for the week?
I think 1,560.
Yep. So that's 4 days. Okay. Pick up 1 additional day.
Okay, so 8 hours.
So a 12. Our shifts are 12.
12 times 50.
12 times
600.
50. Huh?
600.
600. Then you add that to the 15 something.
Oh no, 1,560. It's 1,560 times 2.
Right, times 2.
Hold on. So 1,560 times 2 plus 600. 3,720.
But that's for 2 weeks.
Oh, so 2 600s.
So 2 600. So it'll be $1,200. So you do that.
So 4,320.
4,320 in 1 pay period. You're nearly, and that's just 2 weeks out of the month. If you do that for a month, you basically at $10,000. That's $100,000. That's $120 grand. It's actually more than that. You know what I mean? Because you're gonna because that 8 hours, whatever, that's actually going to be at $50 an hour too. Because it's a 4th day, because I added a 4th day in there. So so you're looking at, if you decide to work, hard with 1 job with an associate degree, you're at 120.
Yes, that's the thing. So what made you get into that? Was it the money?
No, because when I got into it, there wasn't any money in it. I got into it because of stability. I spent most of my life working in social service nonprofit. So my employment was based on whatever political structure was in power at that time, and whoever is going to decide to fund whatever the initiative the agency I was working for. So but when I turned 30, and then every 3 to 4 years, my job getting yanked from under me because there was a new, political administration with a new agenda. I said, I can't go into my 30s and 40s being unstable with money. Even if it was like low money. And initially when I got into respiratory, it was a cut. It was a pay cut. So we're talking back before, when 100,000 was 100,000, I was about working in social services, I'm between 75 to 80. And that was equivalent to about 125, 130 now. You know what I mean? So when I went into respiratory, I took a major cut going into it. I took the cut for the stability because I figured steady money was always better than inconsistent money. That's kind of that was my mindset at the time. But I had the ability to get back to the 75, 80 if I worked overtime and stuff like that, which I did. In respiratory, I've never made under 80 as a take home on under 80. But over the last 4 or 5 years, just respiratory alone, I'm clearing, I was clearing 170, 180. And we're not talking about that I do have another resource of another stream of income that's about 55 a year. So you're talking about that, and then outside ventures. But so you can make the money individually if you're willing to work for it. Now, if I was still married, because I was married once upon a time, if I was still married, would I have to work this hard? Probably not.
Right.
Because she works. She would have. I'm not one of these guys that come up here, even though I have the ability for my woman not to work. I ain't for to be like, no, you ain't for the work. No, your ass for the work. You just ain't got to work. You just don't have to work as hard because I'm going to carry the load. I don't want my woman that tired. When I come home, I want her to tend to me. I don't want her sitting up there. We both lay in the bed too tired to take off a sock. I can't do that.
So this is the thing, right? So I looked up like categories or careers that pay well. Healthcare, finance, anything in sales, usually gonna be pretty lucrative. Why do we not do those things? Why do you think that we stay away from those things? Why do we say it makes $20 an hour? Like, what are we talking about? Like, I done hit the jackpot. I won.
Because we want stuff right now, and we don't want to do what it takes to prepare to get into them, because it takes some time, and it takes some set. You know what I mean? Like I told you, when I went into healthcare, I took a cut, like a major cut. I went down. I left my agency making 80, and I went to 2 part-time overnight jobs making $8 an hour to put myself through respiratory school. And I still had a house payment, car payment, all that. Joy, when I was going through respiratory school, first of all, I was angry the entire time because here I am, a guy with 2 graduate degrees going to get an associate. So I was already feeling some type of way about that, even though I chose to do it. And then also what I ended up doing was, and people don't want to do the sacrifice. Joy, I worked at like with an agency that supported people with developmental disabilities. You know what I mean? So I worked overnight, and I only came home 1 night a week. I came home on Sundays. So from Monday through Saturday through Sunday morning, I was not at home. So I was at school, clinic, and then the job. I would go in that job at 3 o'clock and get off at 5:30 in the morning. And then 5:30 in the morning, I was either going to class or to a hospital for clinic. I did that for 2.5 years, taking a pay cut. Going from 60, we'll say 70 grand a year to basically with both, because I had to work for 2 different agencies to do that. We're talking about $16 an hour I went down to with no medical benefits. But a lot of people don't want to make the sacrifice to build into that. And let me tell you something. One of the things that this led to the demise of my marriage, because my wife couldn't see what I was doing either. All she saw was the cut. She didn't see the fact that I was still paying the bills in the house. I was still taking care of it, but it was angry because I wasn't at home. I was always at school. You know what I mean? But she didn't understand that was only temporary, that would end. and at the end goal. So also when you talk about getting up people, if you got somebody who wants to do that or make the sacrifice, you gotta know what that means too, and you gotta believe in that person in order to go along for that ride. You know what I mean? And so for me personally, and this is for any guy that's going to go out there and think about this, and you're married, you got to make sure that your wife is built to do that. I thought she was, but she wasn't.
So she wasn't about that life.
She wasn't about that. And here's what's so funny about it. Her lifestyle did not change that much. She was glad to be able to say that my husband is the director of such and such. My husband is the VP of the Urban League. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
She was glad to say that. My husband is the director of the Workforce Development Center over at such and such college. You know what I mean? She was glad to say that. It didn't matter that even though I made the cuts and even though she didn't have to contribute any additional monies to the house that she was already contributing, it didn't matter to her. So all she saw was the titles were now gone. I was out of the house all the time. You know what I mean? And that's all she saw. But it's a sacrifice when you want to do it. But now it was a 2.5 year sacrifice. But now I'm on the other end of it. And had she stuck it out, the girl she would only have to work maybe 20 hours a week. And that was just to keep her occupied and entertained.
The thing that I find interesting about what you just said, though, I think that everybody's success story, right? Nobody's story does this, right? Usually it's gonna be,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Because even for me, like the struggle that I'm having right now is transitioning from, okay, so I struggle going from teaching into being a loan officer, right? Things were fine. And then I challenged myself again to try to level up, and it did knock me back some. But when I get to the other side of it, where I think I am now, in March, April, May, like, Lord. Y'all buy some houses this year, please. But it does take that, right? And it was a lot of people for me that were like, no, you're going to struggle. It's going to be so hard. You're going to, and it was all Black people that was telling me, no, just stay in the call center. It's okay, life, right? It's fine. Before COVID, like I could have made, 120, whatever. But again, if I'm competing against people that have the mentality that's 20 years younger than me, first of all, okay, they half my age and they trying to get double the pay, literally, right? I need to figure something out fast. Okay, I got to figure out something quick. And so, fortunately, in my job, I can see the future before everybody else does. I'm able to see, I see the trends. I see what comes across. I'm like, this ain't it. Which is why a year ago, I was like, yo, that 60 ain't it. And that, yeah, it's fine. What is wrong with you? It's everything.
By yourself, it ain't fine. By yourself.
Yeah, that ain't it, right?
No, it ain't it.
You're not raising no family of 4. I'm sorry. I don't know how to break it to you. If you are, it's very uncomfortable. It's very uncomfortable, but it does require to get to that next level, and for us to be able to go into these $400,000 homes that aren't doing anything except going up and up and up and up, and for us to have the $20,000 or the $30,000 or the $40,000 to save, the income has to come up. That's it. Come back, Charles. The income has to come up.
I was looking for I saved, and it's not on my main computer, but I saved all of my initial documentations and mortgage stuff that I was going to send it to you from when I bought my house 2 years ago. And there's no way in the world I can afford my house now.
Me either.
But I was thinking back to, and I don't know her situation. I'm just going to pick on her though. But in your chat, the Angela girl with the 1840 whatever rent, you know what I mean? As a man sitting here, and I don't know if she's single, married, or whatever the case may be. So, but I'm just going to pick on her. But the vast majority of our women are single, are in her situation. And I'm sitting here as a man going, You know what the hell we can do with an extra fucking $1,800 a month
Mm-hmm.
instead of putting it in somebody else's. This is why people give me a hard time, but I scream bloody murder about trying to figure it out with somebody. Because why do I gotta pay? My mortgage just went up by $100, and I was screaming at the mortgage lender today. Lender, I was screaming at him.
It's called taxes.
I know. I was trying to figure some stuff out. Boy, the lady, she must thought I was like out my mind. But anyways, if I gotta pay 16 and she gotta pay 18, what's the math on that?
$200. What difference?
1,800. No. What's the combined number? 1,800.
34. 30. Yeah, 34.
So let's just say me and her are both single in the same city, whatever, and we're remotely compatible, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's $3,200 that don't need to get spent.
Mm-hmm.
If we can't, because we can't figure out how to get along with one another. Because we can't figure out how to get along with one another. So from a practical standpoint, a lot of us out here doing this are attempting to do this and don't understand that it's not worth the haul to do it by yourself. It's just not, if you can help it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people are not willing to do what I'm willing to do, which is work the 88 hours a week. Now, there are I'm actually going to be coming in March. I'm going to be pulling down more than that because I'm going to be doing some stuff around the house. But then April, I'm taking off. I probably work 1 day a week in April, but I have the flexibility to do that because I'm not a full-time employee over there, which makes it even better. You know, I determine how much I work now, which is I'm an employee, but I get to determine how much I work, which is great. You know, by the way. But yeah, that $1,800 extra a month that can go into a savings, a 401k, hell, CD account. You know what I mean? Cash on hand money. $1,800. How much is that a year?
I don't know. 18 a month.
Yeah, times 12.
21,600.
$21,000 in 12 months.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, yes, partnering with someone is definitely a cheat code for sure. Like I said, I'm not going to push back against that. That's 100% accurate, and I would be willing to bet that because in society and just in humanity, there are things that force certain changes and make you have to adapt. I would not be surprised if it did come back around again, that marriages became more popular because people have to be able to merge incomes to be able to survive. That would not surprise me at all.
In the next 5 years, I think that's where we're going to be at. It's almost impossible for any single individual to live. It's almost, and I make good money. And if I'm over here bitching and moaning,
yeah,
and I make decent money, and I'm in the Midwest and I'm bitching and moaning.
Yeah.
Come on now, man. And I tell lady, you ain't got to worry about turn your car in. You ain't got to have a car note because guess what? Brother man got 2 of them that are paid for.
Mm-hmm.
I got a 2023 and as my grandfather said, give your woman a good car.
I'm telling you, like, it's a whole thing. I don't know. I can certainly see that change happening. I've seen best friends go in together to try to buy like a duplex. I've seen. Now I went on a rant about this the other day. Now, adults, parents, leave your adult children out of this, please.
Huh.
If you are not stable enough to purchase your own home by yourself, don't go and ruin your child's credit. I had a girl come to me. She was a young girl. She felt bamboozled by her mom because her mom had her sign on the dotted line because she was making a decent amount of money, had good credit. She ain't know. She was like 23, 24. She's a young girl. And her mama done went and filed bankruptcy. Damn. Bankruptcy include a house. Now she like, my credit is jacked. And I can't buy no house. No, you can't. So no, as much of a fan as, multi-generation, I was talking about Hispanic people. The Hispanics have a higher home ownership rate than Black people do. We talked about on TikTok, but Cliff's Notes version is, they come to the country, they say, okay, tell me the rules. We tell them the rules. They follow the rules. They execute. They compile all their money together as a unit and they purchase homes. Like, is that, which it goes back, is it that hard? Because I see people doing it that aren't even born here. You know what I'm saying? And it's redlining. Stop. Stop. I'm sorry. Like, let's not do that, okay? So it really does. Like I said, it's not lost on me that, we make less money. But what I'm saying is, can we please try to not make less money on purpose? Because that's really what the data bears out. When we go into working at the McDonald's and the Wendy's and stuff, and it's 2024 and we screaming out, pay me $15 an hour, baby, if that is your argument, God bless you.
Yeah, I don't know. But no, Joy, you're right. And I wish I could, find ways to combat it, because I do know. Listen, this is what I tell people. Okay, you at 60. If you plan on staying by yourself, you need more money.
For sure.
If you're not going to come into cooperation with somebody or figure out a way to get along with somebody, you're going to need more money. I mean, that's just the way it is. And and having this and I know I'll be, jumping down up on the ladies a lot of time, but this goes the same for guys, because if the women are single, guess what? The guys are too. Because who in the hell?
No, they got bitches. They got bitches. The men in the prisons do too.
But that's a different, having bitches and having somebody in your house help shuttle that load. That's a different thing.
I'm just saying. We see what just happened to Monica. She got her heart broken again.
Yep. I gotta jump on somebody else's podcast real quick.
I appreciate you. Oh no, tell everybody what's your channel about.
Oh, Real Provider Network. We deal with Black people issues, especially the issues that keep Black people apart. That's what we do over there. So we run the gamut of issues over there. So,
well, thank you for popping by.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you and nice talk, and keep doing what you're doing over here with the education. It's well needed.
I appreciate it.
All right, you have a good one.
All right, you too. All right, up next. Hey, Charles, how you doing?
Doing good.
You was like, hold on, we got some construction going on. Like, it's money over here. We got some coins. Like, what's going on? Like, tell the people how we gonna make this money. We gotta know, because like I said, I look at these loan applications, baby. We ain't got it, and all I can say is, I'm sorry, now is not your time. And it's like, it ain't even to be like offensive or rude, because it's something that people are a little bit sensitive about, but it shouldn't be. You shouldn't be sensitive to it like this. Like, I'm trying to introduce you to a whole nother world. So you saying that the girls need to put on a pink hard hat, and we need to get out there with some hammers and a power tool. Because let me tell you, I love some Habitat for Humanity hand. Let me say, I'm good for a DIY. All right. I used to love this old house when I was a kid. So, I can get out there with a hammer. I'm just saying. If they paying like that. So tell me. So what do you do? What do you want to talk about?
Right now I'm doing a lawn care business. I'm trying to go full time.
Okay.
I'm working part time, but part time is not enough to buy. Okay. So I really need to focus on my business.
Mm-hmm.
Because right now, here where I live in Montgomery, you can get a new house for like $280, but it's gonna be a real small house, and still your rent gonna mortgage probably anywhere from $1,500 to $2,000 a month. So I just don't understand when it comes to W-2, why the employers is not thinking about the cost of living. They might offer you full time for like $13 an hour, but you cannot afford to really buy anything for $13 an hour. You would not have either part time or either some type of side business or either go in with somebody else.
Mhm.
So explain that to me, whether it's a disconnect between
Wall Street and Main Street.
yeah.
No, I don't disagree with you. I absolutely think that that's something that has to be talked about. But then what? Well, we talk in circles. We got to be about that action at this point, right? Like,
Right.
if we know that, if that's the equation, right? What are you going to do about it? Because you can't force them to change the wages. You know, if minimum wage is, I don't know, $7 and some change. I don't know what it is, something like
It's
that. Right?
$7. It's
It is? Okay.
Alabama never raised that minimum wage. We still with the federal minimum wage.
Okay. See, I don't know. I remember I know like in California it's like $20 or something like that. But
yeah, but California cost of living is
yeah, you can get a 3-bedroom house for $1.5 million. Like, yeah, like the house that Doughboy lived in is like freaking $1.5 million house. Yeah. But that's what I'm saying, right? So I say this respectfully because I don't need the McDonald's coalition coming to get me. But I think that sometimes we have to kind of like really take a hard look and be introspective and say, you know what? This might be a job better suited for a 16-year-old that has no bills and nothing to do and only needs side money. Because I would say that's probably the corporation's position as well. When companies come up with roles, they've made up in their mind, they kind of know who's going to fill those roles. You know what I'm saying?
right.
And so if that misaligns with where you're seated in life, then you gotta get another seat. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So you're not wrong. I think that things went up exponentially in a very short period of time, unexpectedly for everybody.
Yes.
But it requires a shift. And the only way that shift is going to hurt less is if individual people take accountability for what they have control of, right? So again, my life was upside down last year. Still right now today. But I got to shift, right? I can't sit in it. I'm like, well, okay, I gotta pick up the piece. I gotta figure something out. I gotta make something shake. And I think that's what everybody has to do. Because like I said, these rent prices ain't coming down. You don't got to buy no house. I don't care. Let's not talk about buying a house. You fine, cool. You got $1,500 a month rent and you make $2,500 a month. What we doing? Because I've read a lot of data that says that people are paying like 50% of their check is rent.
Yes, it is. Because I know the apartments here, they want 3 times the rent. So if the apartment is like $1,200, you got to make about $3,200.
Exactly. Yeah. And then we already said food $1,000 a month.
Yeah, you ain't lying. Food going up.
I swear. But like I said, they don't even include that in the inflation data. That's not even a part of it, which is mind blowing to me. So, you know, the equations for some of the things that they're doing, they don't line up to what you said. You're absolutely right. I'm not saying that you're wrong. You are absolutely correct about what you said. There is a severe misalignment between what some of the wages are and some of the jobs and the actual cost of living in certain areas. But again, like I said, at the end of the day, I am 100% a fan of, right, okay, that's cool, but what you gonna do? Right? Like what can you change? Because crying and complaining about it, that's not making the car prices go down. It's definitely not making this $10.99 bacon go down.
No, it's not.
We don't vote.
No, we don't vote. Not like we supposed to.
We don't, right? We like, oh, well, you know, Joe Biden or Trump gonna give me a stimulus check. You sound crazy saying that. Yeah. Like, it's ridiculous, right? So there are things that can be done. We just elect not to do the things a lot of times. And those are personal decisions that carry personal consequences. You know what I'm saying? And it just, I believe, I might be crazy, but I swear to you, I believe that every single person has the ability to make $100,000.
Yeah, I think
I just
so.
do.
I really do. You
I
just
just
have
do.
you have to find something you're good at. Like me, I have found that
Mhm.
I'm really good at mowing yards. I've been doing it long enough, and I come to find out that a lot of people don't want to do it. So, like, I might do maybe in 3 days I could do like 900 easily.
Mhm.
But this year I'm trying to push myself a whole lot more because that's what I really want to do full time.
Do you do other landscaping? Like I had my neighbor did he got too expensive. But it was he installed my irrigation. He did some landscaping. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. But that cost me like probably $1,500, something like that, for him to
Yeah,
add
landscaping
one,
is
two,
high.
three. It was like 4 or 5 trees. He added like a couple of flowers. They died immediately. That's why I was like, this is a disaster. But I mean, have you expanded beyond just
I
cutting
do.
grass?
I do hedge trimming. I
Mm-hmm.
do leaf cleanups. I'm doing right. I'm trying to get back into doing tree work again because
Mm-hmm.
this money's in tree work. Like,
Like
like
cutting the trees down.
yeah, yeah,
Mm-hmm. I have a guy I graduated from school with. He actually is from Alabama. Is he from Alabama? He is from Alabama. Yeah, he lives in North Carolina now, but he owns a tree service business. So yeah, you're absolutely right. I think it's a lot of money to be made for sure. We just gotta
yeah,
find it.
yeah.
100%. We gotta find it. And I just, like I said, I'm sorry. I can't come off it. I can't back down. I think that we are totally capable of doing the things that need to be done to get the things that we want. I just think we have to
Yeah,
have
you got to hustle. You
awareness.
got to hustle. It's a lot,
Mm-hmm.
especially in my area. A lot of people get into a lot of different. You see a lot of mobile car detailing. You see a lot of food trucks now. You seeing. I even seen a guy have a trailer that he's a barber, mobile barber. He
Mm-hmm.
has his sign on the
Oh, that's a good
side
idea.
of the trailer, yeah, saying that he barbers. So he's up in the parking lot, and people come to get the haircut. And you know he has low overhead because he don't have a building. Yeah.
That's a good idea. Yeah. I mean, it's but now then, okay. So then what comes behind it is, making sure that, you're filing, taxes and things
Yeah,
appropriately to be
that's
able
something
to,
I'm learning.
yeah.
I got a CPA CPA last year because I'm finding it's a different ball game being
Mhm.
a business owner than it is a W-2.
Yeah.
W-2 easy. A lot
Yeah.
of people don't appreciate a good W-2 job where everything is done for you.
I do. I do. I guess you can call this being self-employed because YouTube, it give me a few little change here and there, but because I'm at work. This work, I'm clocked in right now.
It's hard to make a
I'm
living
at
on
work.
YouTube.
I'm at work right now. That's what's happening at this very second. But I don't know. I think it can be done. I just think that we should talk about it more. I want people to feel more comfortable saying, okay, I make $57,000. I make $257,000 because there's just power in sharing that and saying, yeah, I make 257, but I'm over here on Struggle Street. And because now the 57 person, they don't feel so bad anymore. They're, oh, okay, well, we all have our issues. And it also, I think, plants a seed in somebody's mind to say, well, dang, like I didn't know that you could struggle making that much money. So let me pay attention as I ascend in my income, But like I said, right now, the average purchase price like 400, 420, something like
Yeah,
that.
right. Now, some around here,
$120,000 is necessary for the application to be able to get that home.
yeah.
It can be
Because
between one person, 2 people, 3 people, whatever.
It's a lot of home building going on here, but most of the housing building going starts at like 275 to 300,000.
Yeah.
They're not building things less than that.
Mm-hmm. That's everywhere, which is the whole like living below your means. I'm like, what are you talking about? What does that mean?
I don't think.
But then some people will say, well, then that means you need to like get a roommate or, you know, try to figure out ways to cut your expenses in half. Like, oh, well, you know, walk or buy I don't know, a cash car. And I guess that's there. Okay, I'll give you that. But that's just not going to be feasible a lot of times, especially when you're talking about full grown 30-year-old adults. Like life did not get this hard until 3 years ago.
Yeah,
things were fine.
Yeah, COVID changed a whole lot. It really brought out that the money people were making wasn't enough to it wasn't enough to survive.
No,
we still feeling the effects of it now.
Correct. Yeah. And we're going to continue to feel those effects for years and years and years to come. And again, if it takes 10 years for us to get with the program, then that gap gets wider and wider and wider.
Yeah.
And that's just it. So like, that's my whole thing. I'm like, all right, catch up, get on board today. Today is the day. We got to start figuring out how I'm going to make this $120,000.
Yeah, I got to, I put myself through community college at night.
Mm-hmm.
I worked part-time.
Mm-hmm.
I got a certificate in construction technology where you learn how to frame houses and trim houses.
Yeah.
So I'm planning on doing the academy making program this summer and hoping to get my home builder license because that's going to be my side business. Because right now in my area, it's a need for skilled trades because COVID just to make the skilled trades. And plus, it's been a skilled trade shortage ever since before COVID because people don't want to go into the skilled trades. So now, if you get a home builder license, you can make 6 figures easy. Oh,
for sure. Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. The developers, like we have some here in Charlotte. First of all, I didn't even realize that Black men or Black people had like construction companies. Like that was breaking news to me. But it's like a thing, and more people are getting into it, and they like at the top of the food chain. So like in real estate, so everybody's like, I want to be a realtor. No, honey, go, build you a house. Like you build a house, you make $100,000. Like do it again, like rinse and repeat. They at the top of the food chain. That's why when like these communities go up, they're like, oh well, like, you know, it costs so much money to grade the land and prepare the land and get the permits and get the utilities and all. That costs a lot of money before they put up a frame or before they do anything. The money is in construction every day of the week. They are at the top of the food chain in real estate. So if y'all are interested in being in real estate and you like, oh, I want to be a loan officer, child, you better go get you a GC license, learn how to build some houses or something, because that is where the money is. It is a lot of money in real estate.
Because here in Alabama, you don't have to have a real estate license. If you're a home builder, you don't have to have a real estate license. According to the law, you don't have to have one. It's another thing, like if you don't want to frame, you can get into electricity, you can get into plumbing. Plumbers make 6 figures, especially like down here. If we have a lot of freeze, plumbers' phone be ring out the hook because people pipes be busted. Had to go in and fix the pipes. Like the power company, it starts you off with $18 an hour, but you can end up topping easy 30, pulling lines if you want to fool with electricity. So it's a lot of jobs out here that pay 6 figures people don't know about.
Exactly. That's the thing. We got to start telling people. We got to start telling people. Like I said, when I was when I was transitioning from being a teacher into this, I literally went on LinkedIn and I was like, who look like they make a lot of money? And I started scrolling and I saw one of my old managers that I used to work at a radio station with. And it was like in the early 2000s. And I remember she was a Black lady. She lived on the south side of Charlotte where like all the rich people were living. And she was a single Black woman. She had an E-Class Mercedes. I was like, I know she not broke. I'm going to do that. And so here we are. I'm doing it a little differently. I'm really excited about, TikTok. I'm excited about, my YouTube growing. Side note, y'all, please hit the like button if you haven't hit the like button already. I really would like the engagement. Thank you so very much. But yeah, like it's growing, and I'm here because I do want to help people. It's just like I said, I recognize that I say things that other people aren't necessarily saying aloud, but it isn't ever designed to hurt anyone's feelings. It's not ever designed to put anybody down. I'm telling you what works. I'm telling you the formula. If you choose not to follow it, that's okay. It's nothing wrong with it, but
that's kind of
I'm here to work. Like let's buy some houses. You know what I'm saying? Like we should absolutely be buying houses all day, every single day, and we can. So I don't know. But I definitely appreciate you coming up and sharing your thoughts about the matter. And hopefully people will listen to you and start exploring construction and other types of trades that, like I said, maybe they ain't made so much money.
Yeah, skilled trades is where that, and plus you most likely you can go to a community college debt free. Because I have, because the time I had went, I don't have any student loans. I was able to get scholarships, and what scholarship didn't cover, I paid out my pocket. So when I graduated, I didn't have any tuition.
Meanwhile,
that's a secret that people don't know.
Yeah, I got all the rooms.
And now community college, and now you can transfer all your academics to a 4-year college now. So you can do 2 years at a junior college and transfer. That's what I would recommend if you want a bachelor's degree. But please don't get a bachelor's degree. Please get a professional degree like civil engineering or something like that.
Yeah, let's encourage that. I mean, it could be whatever floats your boat. But at the end of the day, the goal is we all want to be able to live comfortably and happily ever after and get the things that we deserve. Because I think everyone, if you don't want to own a home, that's fine, but at least have the option to be able to do so. So yeah,
it's not a fun to work a job and to struggle. I think you should be looking to step. Don't just take a job just because you feel like it pays a bill. You want to be able to enjoy life, and that's what a lot of people fall short.
And have a plan. Like, where does it go? Where after this, then what? You know what I mean? Like, what is the trajectory of that job? So yeah, I love it. Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
I appreciate you coming up. So I'll be doing another live stream. I don't know, probably in a week or two.
Okay.
All right.
Enjoy your show.
Thank you.
Bye.
Okay, so let's see. We got a couple comments and then we're gonna wrap up here. Let's see what we got. Neophyte Stacker. Okay, making money doesn't seem hard if you're a lifelong learner because change comes easier than someone who is stuck with one-sided type of thinking, at least in my opinion. Those who struggle to think outside of the box struggle with making money. But the rat race life does get to some people because time is precious. Yeah. And is this the last one? Okay. Normal is getting dressed in clothes that you buy for work and driving through traffic in a car that you are still paying for in order to get the job that you need to pay for the clothes in the car and the house that you have vacant all day so you can afford to live in it. Yes. Welcome to America. Ain't it great? No, I think that there is definitely a lot of value, and I want to talk more and more about mindset because I think that what you said is absolutely correct. Like making money doesn't seem hard if you're a lifelong learner. And sometimes it doesn't necessarily even have to be like super formal education. There is some sort of statistic that says 90% of people graduate college and never read another book again. Just things like that. You know, how often do you peruse the internet and look at Forbes articles or keep up with what's going on CNBC? I'm not saying you have to read a whole book, but be aware of what's happening in the economy and what's going on in certain job industries. Like the STEM field is a gold mine, or was, because now what's wrong with STEM? What is the biggest problem that STEM is having? Now, I want you to understand, I'm an Aggie. Okay, I went to North Carolina A&T, Aggie pride. All right. We are known for our engineering department. Okay, McNair, y'all know Ronald McNair. He was one of the astronauts that was killed in the Challenger explosion back in the 80s. Only black guy. Couldn't have missed him. Only black guy. But now AI is like the thing. They are cutting people in tech left and right. They're sending them home. They're like, oh, you laid off. They changing the job title, lowering the salary, and then calling them back the next week. Hey, we got this great opportunity. We think you'd be perfect. What? That's my job. What you mean? Think I'd be perfect? Oh, you think I'd be perfect with a $20,000 pay cut? What? Have you seen the cost of bacon? It's $10.99. So, yes, being a lifelong learner can involve books. It can involve formal coursework. It could be certifications. It could be so many things, but more than anything, like even what we're doing right here, what we're having right now is educational. There is some value in it. And like I said, like the young lady that said, I never thought about applying for a job making six figures before. I just figured I would kind of like stair step it and just kind of see what happens. No, baby, we're going straight to the top. We don't have 5 years. No, baby, spend $250. Get somebody to write you a bomb resume. Get you a career counselor. We got to accelerate this plan. But people haven't thought about it. And so there's certainly a value that comes in, like I said, having these conversations and learning even just from other people. I had a guy, I was doing a loan application for him, and he was saying how, I think he was like, he made like 175 or something like that. And he was just shooting the shit, talking to his homegirl. And she was like, well, what do you do? And he told her. And he said that she done spit the block. And now she got more letters than he got behind his name. Because she was like, okay, hold on. Now, how you do that? So then what I do? How do I do this? Where do I get that class? And he's like, just casually, she would just kind of come around every couple months and just ask a couple more questions. And now she done lapped him. And it's all from conversation and saying, hey, how much money do you make? Like, I want to live that kind of life too. I used to tell my kids, I taught middle school. So my kids now, they're adults. And I told one of my girls, I was like, and I'm really, really close with her, Brittany. I told Brittany, I was like, this, now mind you, this was in 2020, before things got crazy. I was like, I want you to write out your life. Like, I want you to go on the internet. I want you to find a house that you want to live in. Go on the internet, find a car that you would like to have. You got to backward plan your life. You have to plan your life around what you desire to have. You don't make the adjustment based on the amount of money you make. It's flip-flop. And I don't know why like people have decided that that's the way it's supposed to go. It's like, oh, well, I make, $62,000. So I guess I can only drive this kind of car. And so that desire is so great. You end up getting a car instead of getting, the Honda Accord with the cloth seats. You got to go get the EXL. Is that still a thing? I don't know if that's what they call it now, but you know what I'm saying? It's like a $15,000 difference, I guess, with all the upgrades or whatever the thing is, right? So figure out the life that you want, like design your life and then find the job or the industry, the income that's going to match that. And if it requires you to go back to school, if you want to be a nurse or whatever, I'm trying to, Lord God, please, if I could be a testimony, if somebody could just learn from what you all are seeing in me right now, I'm telling y'all, like, I believe with the depths of my soul, the last 2 years have been such a challenge. But at the end of the day, I really think it's going to be very well worth it. I'm going to be light years ahead of where I would have been if I would have just stayed where I was at and like, oh, I'm okay. I'm comfortable. I don't want to just be comfortable. I don't have to be rich. Now being a millionaire, that ain't really been on my radar. But I tell you what, it's not on my radar anymore. Just 100,000. That is not on my radar any longer. No, that's just, it's not, it isn't a realistic number anymore to be comfortable in the way that I would like to, be comfortable. I don't want to die broke. And I had a hard time figuring out my why. And I think that's the other thing too that could be difficult for people. Get a therapist. We struggle with money issues sometimes because we have other issues that are beneath that. Get a therapist. Talk to a therapist. I couldn't figure out my why. I want to make money so I can go get a Louis Vuitton bag. Okay, that's not a good enough reason. It's cute, but it don't anchor me to nothing. Now, I don't want to die broke. I don't want to die broke. I want to be big enough on social media platforms to rival my white counterparts that are on social media making $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 a year doing loans from social media. I'm talented enough. Why can't I? I can have 70,000 subscribers. The other lady do. Like, why can't I? That is gonna get me in front of the camera. Like, okay, hold on, I gotta show up, right? It's something that's anchoring me. So I think that sometimes it just requires a little bit more work to unpack and figure out, well, what is your why? Making money it's cool. Like, okay, I want to make money so I can drive a nice car, but yeah, and then what? Because then what's gonna keep you making more money after you get the car? All right, y'all. Let's see what we got here. I have an opportunity to work for Rocket Mortgage. They pay $20 an hour, train and pay for NMLS, $5 less than what I make now, but I feel like I'm killing commissions. What you think? Yes. Yeah. It's temporary. Like, if you could see past the now. Man, let me tell you, I got this girl a job one time and she embarrassed me because she couldn't see past what was right there in her face. She was like, but it don't pay $20 an hour. I was like, yeah, I'm trying to stop cussing. It's not going well. I was like, do you not understand that you eating off loan officers and don't none of us make $20 an hour? So the byproduct of that means you're going to get paid more than $20 an hour. Yeah, but I need $20 an hour. But you're going to make more than $20 an hour. I blocked her. I couldn't believe it. So yes, taking a small window of time, 6 months to a year. And that's the other thing too. I think sometimes we expect success just a little bit too fast. Now, my therapist did talk to me about this. My therapist told me, this was a year ago. She was like, well, why do you think stuff got to take a long time? I was like, well, I mean, it's the process. She's like, no, you decide how rapidly you want to accelerate certain things. I'm like, oh. But in this, I'm telling you, give yourself 6 months to a year. I think that Rocket is a phenomenal learning environment. I ain't never coming off. I think that there's a lot of value in a consumer direct setting. There, you're going to have support. You're going to have managers. You're going to have people. They're going to tell you what your day's supposed to look like. Now, now I ain't never worked there, but the people say they be working. Okay. So you gonna be busy from sun up to sundown. Like if I remember correctly, like some of my former coworkers that worked for them, they were like, yeah, it was a smooth 12, 14-hour days for sure. 12, 14-hour days. They was making money though, but still. But yeah, I think that you'll be fine. That's quite all right. Don't get hung up on $5, honey. Go DoorDash it. Don't let that stop you from the bigger picture. There's people in this industry that make $1 million. Don't let $5 stop you. I don't know anybody. Well, me. But that was a one-time year situation. I was going to say I don't know nobody who don't make 6 figures, but most people easily cruise into that. We'll have some refinances this year. Rates are becoming down. A lot of times when people do the refinances, they call the call centers. At Rocket is like the most advertised mortgage company that there is out there. They spend ridiculous sums of money on television and radio advertising. So you'll be a-okay. Fort Worth, they have cheap community college and they make it easy to transfer. They want the community educated. That's a good thing. That's a wonderful thing. I love that. Like, I totally feel like education. I mean, I got 2 degrees and I taught. So I'm always on the side of education. You can't never have enough. What's your worst case scenario? You got it and you don't need it rather than need it and not have it. And then you end up being 40 trying to figure out, okay, let me backtrack to try to be 18, 19, 20, 21 again. And you got 3 kids and you got to juggle it and a husband and your real job. And like, when the time is gone, it's gone. But it's never too late. It's just a different type of adjustment. But I'm hearing that they are waiving some of these bachelor degree requirements for some of these jobs. I don't know what that's about, but it's a lot of opportunities. Definitely a lot. If I went back to school, okay, for real, like I would go back to school to get an MBA if I didn't have to pay for it. Now, I don't know when I would figure out like the time to study and stuff, because I tried to do an MBA one time. Baby, let me tell you, my degrees are in stuff that I can make up my own answers and you can't tell me I'm wrong. When they was like, your answers are wrong. My answer's wrong. This ain't for me. This ain't for me. Don't worry about it. But I would get an MBA because like the Mortgage Boss is a LLC. Like I made a Mortgage Boss LLC, right? I didn't really turn it into a real, for real, like, I don't know what I'm doing. What do I do with my, and that's the thing I think is wrong with a lot of business owners. They don't know what they're doing. I don't mind telling people I don't know. I'm about to figure it out. I'm take some classes and figure it out. Because I want to run it efficiently and properly. That's how that Keith Lee lady, see, you don't know how to do business properly. Now you're embarrassed all on the internet. I feel stuck making $25 an hour and getting tiny pay increases. I want a commission-based job. I'm struggling with real estate versus MLO. You don't have to do either one of those. You could do any, like, I don't know what your current job is, but there's almost always sales that drives every single industry. Like if and I'm making this up because I don't know. And please tell me. But like if you work in nursing or in healthcare, it's sales. It's medical sales. You could take what you already know and build on it. Everybody's selling something. Sales drives all business forward. Do y'all follow what's it, Aaron? Corporate Aaron. We're driving the business forward. Okay. Every single industry, all of them. Schools, they have people, somebody got to sell them textbooks. Everything has sales. I would say, understand though, with the commission-based job, I had someone tell me recently they didn't realize that real estate was a business. Like being a realtor, you have to have a business plan. A real one. Not no, oh, I want to sell 20 houses this year. Bitch, how? What's your plan? What you gonna do? Because it's a numbers game. It comes down to numbers. I say I want to close 72 loans. I could tell you exactly where every single one of them loans is supposed to come from. I could tell you what the purchase price needs to be. I could tell you what the loan amount needs to be. And I'm tracking my numbers accordingly, right? Like a business plan is based on numbers. So you have to, like I said, I would personally say, like, come on over, come on in. The water's fine. We need black loan officers. I think you black, I don't know. But we need, more. But also, again, like if you're in a space now and you've started to build up a resume, you might just need to just kind of like shift just a little bit, because you already have the background knowledge to be able to still, make a lot of money, but still in a sales role that would be commission. So that's just a thought. But loan officers are not self-employed in most states. Some states, if you're a broker, you are, but usually you W-2 and somebody is going to tell you what to do, how to do. All of that. You get trained. You don't have to pay for anything. With realtors, like, you pay for everything yourself for the most part. So, your insurance, like all of that. So, definitely figure out, what your end goal, and then you have to work backwards. Because again, like when I first started this, my end goal, I just wanted to make $60,000. Now, imagine that was in 2014. And then they told me at the end of it, it was like, oh yeah, it'll be like you can make $6,000-$7,000 a month. For real? What? And then I quickly saw like, oh, y'all just be going to Vegas just like for no reason? Oh. Just on a whim, you going to Vegas? Didn't you go to Vegas last month? Oh. Haiti, Cuba, Costa Rica. Why are you going on these trips like every 2 months? Like, what's going on? It opened my eyes. It opened my eyes to something that, like I said, I didn't know. Like, I was working in education. If I'd have stayed there, my end goal, I wanted to maybe be an assistant principal. God redirected me. But I don't know. Hey girl, hey, you here though? You here now? You can watch the playback. I hope you hit the like button. Just watch the video today. A word on the street is that they made $15,000, but 80 hours of work. You talking about who made $15,000? Oh, a month. Oh, okay. I was like, what you talking about? Yeah. Yep. It definitely is. The people, it's a lot, y'all. I'm at work right now. What is it? 10 o'clock? It's 10 o'clock. I'm at work right this second. It's fun, but STEM is a gold mine. I'm currently an enrollment officer at IT college, and our graduates are making a killing, but it's boring and I'm not interested. Baby, I'm with you when you right. I'm with you when you right. Cause I'm like, see, at least in my job, like, people are funny. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's always something to laugh at. It's always stories to tell. It's always somebody that like, you did what? You know? But yeah, I agree. I would probably not be so interested in that either. But then I think that's where men are better than women because they don't care. They don't have to like what they're doing. They could care less if they happy. Women, we operate too much on emotion. We want to do something that makes us happy. We want to make a difference. No, I don't want that. I don't desire that at all. I got very blessed to be able to thoroughly love what I do. I enjoy it. It's fun. It's exciting. I help people. It can be lucrative. I love it. I don't know what to say. Like I am extraordinarily blessed because everybody don't get that opportunity. And even like a lot of people that I started out being a loan officer with, they're not loan officers no more because they didn't love it like me. They was like, it's a job. I eat, sleep, and breathe this. And then like I hate that about me. Like I'm either like all the way in or I'm like, all the way out. I don't have a middle ground. Like I will literally like I'll work. Like I'll be up at 2:00. Like when I finish, I'm sleepy. Like I was supposed to be off here an hour ago. I'm so sleepy. But inevitably, like as life has it, you know, when you think you sleepy and you get in the bed and you get like a second wind, right? So I'll probably like be sending loans. I got a loan application since I've been on the phone with y'all. I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have like 7 text messages here. I have some emails. Somebody asked me, well, what is the next step? Oh, that was at 8:30. I'll respond later tomorrow. It's probably not appropriate to text him at 10 o'clock at night. But yeah, I love it. It's fun to me. List your money right before you make the change is what I would suggest, and never burn a bridge with any job, no matter how bad it was. Agreed. Absolutely. Absolutely. What did you miss? You ain't miss nothing really. We was been talking about, you know, how to make more money. Why people don't make more money. Catching up to this idea that Gen Z is like, we need to make 171 to get along, get by in life. Standard mortgage. It's so many mortgage companies. It's a lot of different mortgage companies. I like, me personally, I need you to have a name, like a big name, because I don't need to come to work one day and the doors is locked because y'all decided to go out of business and you ain't gonna cut me my check. Because that's a thing that can't happen. But no, I've not heard of that company. Not saying that they're not a great company, but I haven't. But I mean, you know, it's a lot of companies I haven't heard of. That doesn't, like, I don't know what region they're in, you know, but no, I'm a big box type girl. Like, do you got commercials? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, where do you rank? Let me see how many loan officers that y'all got this on the oh god, what's the name of that list? Oh god, I can't remember. It's the list of loan officers that's like top loan officers for the year. It's Scotsman Guide. I need to know. So you have to evaluate what's important to you. What are you looking to get out of it? Again, y'all, you don't have to be a retail loan officer. You can work at a bank. I personally will always put learning ahead of money, because if you don't know what you're doing, you're not making no money anyway. And if you're not being fostered in the right learning environment, your learning curve is going to be even harder, because you're layering so many things that have to happen. One, you have to learn the job, right? You have to learn the guidelines, the systems, and all of those things. And then you're layering it even more, because you have to figure out, well, okay, how am I going to get business? Who's going to listen to me? I'm call the realtors. Like, it's a lot that you have to consider, but I would say list out what's truly important to you, because I could tell you the retail loan officers, those branch managers are not checking for you. I remember when my old manager told me that, I was like, shut up, you don't know what you're talking about. Oh, but he did. He absolutely knew what he's talking about. Managers don't be checking for me. I be having questions. I was failing last year. Didn't nobody hardly pick up the phone to check on me. And that's a fact. I'm not talking badly about it. I'm saying those were my experiences. In case somebody from there is watching. Okay, here's another, like, the man who knows how will always have a job. The man who knows why will always be the boss. Come on, somebody. All right. I love philosophy. I'm here for it. I like it, but it's true. It's a book called Who Not How. Who Not How. And there's another book called The Gap in the Game. Those are really, really, really good books to read when you start thinking about, like, how all of these things work together, and especially if you're trying to accelerate something. Knowing how to do something is great, but knowing who can get you there faster. Okay, for anyone interested, Keller Williams will pay for real estate school. I wish there was something like that for MLOs. It is. Companies will pay for you to get your license. I didn't pay for mine. Did I? I did. But I elected to. So the first time I was forced to pay for my license, I took a test. I took a class. That's what it was. The first time I had to take 20-hour class, I was forced to pay for the class and pay for my license. The second time, I didn't have to take the exam. I just had to take the 20-hour class. Yeah, I had to take a class because I was in a transition and I didn't know what company I was going to actually end up going with. I just went ahead and I paid the $300 or whatever it was at the time. And I just knocked it out, $250, whatever it was. And I did it myself, but they were going to pay for it. A lot of companies pay for it. Most companies will pay for it. Or, yeah, a lot of companies will pay for it, especially when rates start coming down and they need people, they'll pay for it. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can. A loan officer is nothing but a sales job. I know how to do math in my head now because, I just do now. But I didn't when I first started. I always liked math. I think what I loved the most about my job that I didn't know that I enjoyed was that I enjoy puzzles. I didn't know that I enjoyed puzzles until like 2 Christmases ago. Me and Jalen, my son, we was doing a puzzle. And I was like, oh, shoot, I like this. And it occurred to me, like, that's what I do all day. I just do puzzles all day long. And I enjoy them. But no, you're not doing anything difficult. It's not anything challenging. It's not anything hard. It doesn't require a degree. Some companies will ask for you to have a degree. But you don't need real estate experience because, again, it's a sales job. It's when I got hired when I got hired at SunTrust, the manager looked at me and she was like, well, you got a master's degree, so I know you can learn. The point of the matter was it didn't matter. You learn, but you just have to get in the right teaching environment to be able to learn. It's not a difficult job. It's a lot of moving parts, but it's not hard. So you missed the first part of this when I was saying, like, when I'm talking to people and they don't qualify, the answer is always money. Make more money, have more money. That's the answer every time. Right? You don't need to know credit. I'm not a qualified credit specialist. I don't get into the weeds of that. It's not my job to do that. If I'm being completely honest with you, right? Loan officers tend to do things that are outside of the scope of their expertise because they want to be more appealing, maybe to clients, to realtors or whatever. My whole thing is like, no, I'm good at what I'm good at, right? Like you don't go to an attorney and be like, hey, can you fix my broken arm? Like they went to a lot of school, but they went to a lot of school for something completely different. And it's okay. Our job is to listen, look at the loan application, look at the guidelines, make sure that the person checks the boxes for, okay, minimum credit score. Okay, how much money you got in the bank? You need 3% down. You got $20,000. Okay, cool. Show me your bank statement for your $20,000. Excellent. All right, so I'm looking at your credit report. Oh man, you got a 62% debt to income ratio. Well, I know I need to get the debt ratio down to 50%. Guess what? I don't have to do no math. All I got to do is click a couple of buttons and I can watch the math calculate on, for me. All I got to do is change that 350,000 to 275, maybe see if I can lower the interest rate a little bit. Okay, boom. Now we in there. It ain't hard. It's super easy. And the other thing too is like the people are already qualified when they come. We don't make people qualified. That's what always is like kind of like funny to me. Like the person does all of the work themselves. I don't do the work. Like I'm just presenting you to the underwriter. The hard work doesn't come from us. It comes from the applicants. Like preparing for home ownership is an arduous task for some people sometimes. It could take a year, 2 years, 3 years. It took me 2 years. And I was alone. I was at the same time while all of this was going on. Okay. I was a hot mess express. And I still didn't do right when I got into my my application. Once I was under contract, I was a mess. All right. 55. I ain't got no time to fool around. I'm hungry. I'm willing to make 100 calls a day. Ooh, to get somebody a mortgage. I fully understand it's a sales-based role. And I'm ready to go off then. Go ahead. Get to it. Hey, that's great. It's just rinse. That's it. You just, especially at like a Quicken. Am I the only one still called a Quicken Rocket? That's just whatever they tell you to do. Boom, 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 boom. They already mapped out the sales process for you. They know what works. They know what their system does. And that's the benefit about being new. Oh, shoot, I missed that. Hold on a second. That's the benefit about being new is you don't come in with any preconceived notions. They love new people. They don't want me because I'm going to be trying to tell them what to do. I'm be like, I ain't doing that. Call 100 people out. You got me. Stop, I ain't doing that. You make an excellent candidate. I want to be able to leave my kids and grandkids a financial legacy. Yes. And being a loan officer will absolutely do that for you. Absolutely. 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 You can make $150,000, $200,000, whatever. You can. Totally doable. Completely doable. Especially if you're talking about you'll make 100 calls a day. Whoo, child. I'll never forget. I was the number one salesperson at SunTrust one month. All because I made it up in my mind. I said, let me show them that they the way that they say to do it don't work. I literally was like, I'm gonna do everything they tell me to do. I'm gonna show them it don't work. Well, I'll be doggone. Look at that. It worked. Oh man, the good old days. I'm getting a BS in finance because I work for the college and it's nearly free. But you only need NMLS to be, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's it. I want a Louis bag. Along with not dying broke. Leaving a legacy for my. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I remember the first bag that I bought. I got a Speedy. It was my first time. The first time I made $10,000. That was the number I had. I had a number in my head. So it ended up being more like a trophy, if that makes sense. And I always said, I was like, I'll never get rid of that bag. And I have like maybe 5 or 6 bags. I need to sell them because I'm broke, but whatever. It was like a trophy. And I really seriously, I cherish that. I cherish that bag a lot. It meant a lot to me because I remember writing an email to all of the managers and I said, thank you so much. You all have changed my life and Jalen's life. And I was dead serious. And that was just the beginning. That was just a little taste, little piece of the iceberg. I ain't know, like, that was the most money I ever had outside of a tax refund. They was probably laughing at me. They was probably like, oh, that poor black girl. She never had nothing before. No, I haven't. I'm glad to be here. But it's absolutely great. Okay, all right. MBA. Oh man, I don't know. I wanted to. I just, like I said, I can't pay for it. Y'all, the answer's got to be right. Okay. I know, but I'm saying, okay. I understand. You gotta take a what's it called? What's it called? What's the test called? To go to college? Is it the GMAT, GRE? I don't want to do none of that. I just want to show up. But I really do. I want an MBA because, like I said, if I'm gonna do a business, I like to know that I know what I'm doing. I like to know that I know what I'm talking about. So that's why I have my AMP, Accredited Mortgage Professional Designate. I need to know that I know what I'm talking about. You know, I like to understand things in depth, and I take it just very, very seriously. And I want to make sure that I know what I'm doing. 72 and I made $72K in rehab, healthcare sales. You see there? It's, yeah, man. It's everything. Anything with sales attached to it is gonna be a coin. We can't make commission in education, so I'm not trying to sell you. But the programs are reputable. And I will. I'll look at it. WGU. I'll look at it. I'm gonna look. Y'all got one in 1 year MBA situation? No, that sounds like that's too much of a time commitment. I'm trying to juggle everything. Like low key, I'm about to tell you, I'm trying to have like all the jobs, make all the money. I'm trying to do all the things. Y'all have no idea how like refocused and determined I am. Things gotta happen. Gotta make such shape. Yeah, they got to pay for everything. Marketing, gas, leads, everything. Yes, agency fees. And that's the part. Nobody talks about those things. They just only want to see like the end result. I saw someone make a comment. She's a realtor in Columbia, South Carolina. She's like the number one realtor in Columbia, South Carolina. And she was speaking about it. She was like, she's so bored with people saying that they do this job part-time and they try and look like they make 6 figures doing the job part-time. And she was like, that devalues what we do because people had a perception that we don't do nothing all day. And so now with real estate, I don't know if you are aware, the real estate industry is kind of under siege right now, because a shift is coming. It happens in every industry. Like nothing can stay the same forever. And right now they are experiencing lawsuits from sellers that feel disenfranchised, that when they sold their homes, they had to pay out 6% commission. And the realtor that sold their house took that 6% and split it with the buyer's agent, gave them 3%. And the sellers is like, well, ain't this a blip? I know you lying. Did you just give my money away? So they feel like, well, if I'd have known that, I'd have only paid you your 3%. Why are you volunteering my money to give it away? And so now people are like, well, I mean, like, does that mean that buyers are going to have to pick up the cost of the commission? What does that even mean? Like, how does this work? Buyers might, which goes back to me saying you can't buy a house with no money. And people really like be wanting to real bad. And I'm like, that's not realistic. It's not realistic at all. Y'all, I'm looking at this. Why I got 8 likes? Why y'all ain't been liking this stream? But yeah, I just think that it's a lot in the industry that's shifting. And I think what may happen is they might start making those people salary. And like, here, yeah, you want to work here? We're going to give you a salary and you get a little commission, like how they do us. I think that's totally realistic because our industry changed too. Once they saw that we were taking advantage of people and, you know, doing all kind of things. I wasn't around. I think I was at college or high school or something when all that was going on. But things shift, things change. You can repair your own credit by paying down debt. Correct. And I try to tell people, like, you don't have to pay nobody for something that you can do on your own. Like, I mean, ain't that hard? And then they'll call and they're upset. They're like, man, I've been paying somebody such and such and so and so money because they didn't want to they told me that such and such was gonna be off my credit report and it's still there. Yeah. And you're still giving them money too, huh? Yeah. They don't have magic fairy dust. Well, I just want somebody to do it for me. I seen your bank account. You can't afford. And that's just the thing, like, I'm not laughing at them, but it's funny. Like, y'all, I just be involved in some of the most interesting conversations sometimes. Like, people really like be so into their own thing. Like, they don't see the situation objectively, right? I'm looking at it and I'm like, I'm trying to help you. You shouldn't pay anybody for this. You don't have it to pay. But I don't know. Like I said, I have a clear mind. I'm looking at everything. I'm not going to tell nobody to do nothing crazy. I'm not going to advise anyone to do something that I wouldn't do. I don't have any emotion involved. And they kind of like, I need to pay somebody so it can happen fast. It need to happen yesterday. And I'm like, what's not going to happen yesterday? Thank you, Ray's List, for $20. I appreciate it. Yay, me. Making money out here, doing what I can, little something. Thank you. I appreciate you. I appreciate it a lot. That's very kind. I'm pursuing that job at Rocket Mortgage. They said they'll pay for the license and training. Okay, cool. Yeah, do it. I'm just do it. Like, it's just a job. And I know, like, I remember my friends would be like, now again, let me full disclosure, like I got off to a rocky start, and it was a disaster because I went to a company that didn't have a big name, and they lied. And I tell everybody all the time, y'all be like, oh, well, the company told me that we're lying to you. They gonna say anything to get you to come with them. Like, they salespeople, they tell lies. We are liars. Like, I say that like so clearly. We're full of shit. I don't know what else to say. That's why I like the bigger brands, because it's kind of like, no, I have to hold you accountable for lying. You know what I'm saying? Like, I really need to edit this video so I can tell y'all the truth about one of the companies that I used to work for. I don't say the name of the company where the situation happened, but it ain't gonna be hard to figure out the company. It's a very, very large company, and well, anyway, these companies will lie to you. I just say that. These companies will lie to you. So just go in with both eyes wide open. I worked in call centers where I made 50 calls a day for the man, so I know I double that for myself. Yeah, when I first started, the company was called goodmortgage.com. They out of business now. They hired me. They lied to me. They lied to me, baby. They told me there was gonna be no problem at all. That I make like, what did they tell me? 40 basis points. Where did I get $6,000? 40 basis points, so 60 basis points. I don't remember what they said. I just remember hearing or doing the math saying, oh, I'll make $6,000 a month. This is going to be great. The lies. And the companies that tell you that they're going to give you leads, you better get on Glassdoor. You better get on Glassdoor. You better vet some of these stories that these people tell. They be telling you fantasies and fairy tales. But not all companies, but we be lying. Because they lied to me. Baby, they lied to me. Do you hear me? They told me, oh, yeah, just in no time, you'll be making. And then I believed them. And then my car got repossessed. I was like, that wasn't part of the conversation that we had. Because they didn't deliver. The leads were absolutely garbage. So I started in August. I didn't get licensed until November. I didn't know what I was doing. So it was going to take some time for me to like figure out. Like, I knew this much because I had been like screening calls like as a junior loan officer until I could get licensed. And I remember the first loan application I had. Let me tell you how small the world is. The very first loan application, my very, very first locked loan in 2014. I ended up talking to him back in a few months ago. Like maybe like September, October, something like that. And it was crazy because I saw his name in like emails and I was like, that name looks so familiar. But then I saw his business address And I mean, again, it was my very first application, so I remembered a lot about it. And he was the guy. He was a real estate closing attorney. He was a closing attorney, and I did his loan. He was my very, very first lock loan, very first one. And we went through the transaction. Now that transaction was a disaster because the guy, he didn't qualify, whatever. It was a hot mess. I had to like kind of like be like, sir, just terrible idea. But yeah, it's a small world. But yeah, I had locked that loan. He had 6 or 7 properties. I didn't know how to read like not bank statement. I didn't know how to read tax returns. I didn't know nothing about no Schedule C. I had to put in the address, and the address had to be linked to the liability, and then I needed to see the tax, or not the tax return. I needed to see the like the tax bill and the insurance, and I had to put the. By the time I got all that figured out, and them car people was like, baby, we coming. It wasn't funny then, but boy, they lied to me. It was horrible. So just, like I said, I like bigger names because of stuff like that. But I definitely had to make 100 phone calls a day. And out of them 100 calls, 10 people might have answered. And then maybe 3 of them was like really worthwhile conversation. And then when I went to the bank, they was like, girl, no, we don't do that over here. The audacity. We would never. It's a bank, for crying out loud. Yeah, the GRE. Okay. You see, I ain't been in school in a minute. The last time I was in school was in 2011. I graduated. I got my MAT in 2011 from UNC Charlotte. Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't do that. I'm just trying to show up. I'll look at it. I'm gonna look at it. Oh, well, I still feel like I don't know. It's like, how you have like this deep desire to do something. Like, I just want to feel like I've achieved it. Like, I always wanted one for some reason. I don't know. I just felt like people with MBAs are smart. Per 6-month term. They complete the program in one term. Well, how many classes is it? You said per 6-month term, but you could do it in one term. How many? Now, when I was at college, they like 6 weeks. They must be like 4 weeks, 6 weeks classes. Or is that what that is? Because college is so different now. When I was in school, you had 2 semesters. That's it. You started in August, you ended in May. You might have went to summer school. That's it. Now it's like a never-ending thing. I'm trying to be a mentor, though. I'm just saying. All right, y'all. It is 3 hours. I'm tired. Thank y'all for hanging out with me. It's 10:37. It's been fun. I appreciate the questions. I appreciate the interactions. I want everyone to be successful. I really do, sincerely. I want everyone to be successful in whatever realm they want to be successful in, or whatever they perceive or feel success is to them, because success is a journey. Success is something that is individualized. My definition does not have to equal your definition, or vice versa. But when it comes to them dollar signs and the percents and buying a house, I do have a definition for that success, okay? I have a definition for that success, okay? And right now in the 2024, the money got to be there. 100,000, 120,000. You know, get somebody, get a sister, get a man, get a woman, get somebody. Okay. So thank y'all. I'll see y'all next time. I'll do a live maybe next week. We'll see what's going on in the news. But until then, do justice, love kindness, and walk humbly with God. I see y'all.